besides those, in other words, for mistakes in play, for offsides and so on, only 3 stoppages in 15 minutes. Actually 16 minutes now.
And one of them for the Soviets going offside. And you usually don't see them do that. Here's Sweden, who couldn't get anything going at all on their last power play with the man advantage again. Here's Naslund digging in. Gusarov takes him out of the play. Puck still loose on the boards. Back of that net. Gustafsson trying to get it to Mats Naslund. Naslund in the corner. Back on the point. Here's a pass into Gustafsson. Shot back on the point. Save as Carlson moved in and got his shot. Milnikov made the save and then covered up with the rebound.
Well, you can see why they like Milnikov in the key games. Magnus Rupe was the guy who had the best chance. He's number 24 directly in front. Here comes the shot by Carlson. Now Rupe's right there in front, reaching back behind him and grabbing it and hanging on. You don't really get a good angle of it there, but Rupe was very dangerous directly in front of Milnikov.
Still a minute 20 left in the penalty to Makarov of the Soviet Union. Here's Gustafsson ready on a face-off against Bekov deep in the Soviet zone. Kent Nielsen dropping it back to Eldebrink. Now into the corner to Naslund. Naslund is checked and fired out of there by number 15, Andrei Homatov for the Soviets. This is Lars Carlson, number 6 for Sweden. Headmanning to Naslund. Quickly ahead on the far side for Kent Nielsen. Trying to drop it to Eldebrink, but the Soviets are able to clear it out, and Nielsen has to drop back. Kent Nielsen leaving it for Carlson, dropping it for Naslund. Now Carlson again. Long pass ahead to Gustafsson. Played it off the boards, but didn't fool Kasatonov, who clears it down the ice. Number 25, Anders Eldebrink. Used to play with Vancouver, briefly with Quebec. Ahead to Eklund. He's checked. And Bekov gets it, and the Soviets then fire it down the ice for Vukin. The Soviets are killing off these penalties with ease, Ron.
Well, Sweden is a very cautious, conservative kind of a team. They'll look for an opening even on the power play. If not, they just maintain a kind of a defensive posture. But they're noted for coming back.
There was another rush for Vukin, broke it up. Sweden tries again. Long shot, and they go offside this time. Just 4 seconds left in the penalty to Makarov of the Soviets.
A reminder that coming up on our first intermission, we're going to have Team Canada co-coach Tom Watt is here on a scouting mission. Michael Burgess, the anthem singer, has done such a great job here in Hamilton. We'll be joining Dan Matheson. Brad Park will be around with the highlights, and we'll have the Toyota scoreboard. There's Vasily Pervukin, the veteran from Moscow Dynamo. Pervukin, kind of the old man of this team now, and probably will not be available come next February when they play at the Olympic Games.
31 years old. The Soviets usually don't have players that old.
No.
Puck cleared around in the boards, and it's going to be Telvin going back to get it. Got it before it crossed the red line, trying to clear it out. Stelnov moving in, held it in, and now Sweden break it out, and here's Pettersson after loose puck. He's onside. Pettersson shot, and Milnikov stood his ground and made a stick save. Kyle Anderson, number 12, trying to center it. Larionov has him tied up. Now Eklund for Sweden. To Lars Gunnar Pettersson. He's checked, and Gusarov clears it off the boards into center ice. Minute and a half left in the period. Telvin back for Sweden. Sweden trailing in this game 1-0. Here's Telvin off the boards into center ice, and it's dumped in by Sweden, but Tisop is there to clear it right back out. Now Bergquist over on the wing, carrying in his Södergren, number 22. It's shot back out by Krutov. And now a Swedish player down on the ice and injured. Carlson, I believe it is, and we're going to get a penalty for high sticking against one of the Soviet players. The injured player is Anders Carlson. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Running is the fastest way to burn fat if you follow these simple steps. Running will power up your energy reserve if you know what pace is best for you. Running will trim your love handles, hips, and thighs if you call now for this free book, The Complete Runner's Guide, designed for all levels, even if you've never taken a stride. This guide delivers maximum results in minimum time. It's free with your paid subscription to Runner's World. Every issue gets you going with new ideas on improving your performance to finding the perfect shoe. Call for your risk-free trial issue of Runner's World. If you like it, get 11 more for just $17.97. If you're not satisfied, cancel, owe nothing, and keep the free issue. Call now and get a second book free. Burn fat faster, tone your abs, lose weight, drop body fat. The secrets are here. You can burn fat, gain more energy, sculpt your body. If you call Runner's World now.
Call 1-800-213-8700 now.
Paying bills has been difficult since my husband got hurt. Bill collectors called day and night. We thought of bankruptcy, but then a friend told us about Garden State.
Garden State is a non-profit agency that works with your creditors to make an affordable payment plan for all your bills.
After speaking with our counselor, we saved thousands of dollars in interest. Thank you, Garden State.
Get your bills together and call now for your free consultation. We can help you get out of debt. Call 1-800-99-BILL.
Anders Carlson was high stick by Igor Larionov. Here it is. Carlson had to get the stick up. Larionov more a cross check than a high stick perhaps, but whatever. Referee Don Koharski was right there and they called him for it. High sticking in 19:01. 59 seconds remaining in the first period. The Soviets leading 1-0 on a power play goal of their own.
This is going to be the third straight power play for Sweden. And if it's anything like the previous two, the Soviets are in no trouble at all. The Swedes had nothing going at all on the previous two power plays.
Well, again, I have to emphasize the fact that Sweden plays a holding kind of a game. They are looking for an opening. They may have 2 shots on goal, and they may eventually go in the net. They look for the good chance. Otherwise, they're just trying to hold the Soviets off, as it were. And there's a great deal of controversy in Sweden among coaches as to whether this, in fact, is the way to play the Soviets or whether you should aggressively go at them and try to play them the way Team Canada does.
Here is Mats Näslund. He got to center as far as he could get. Now shot in by Carlson, number 6. Puck back to the goal. Out in front. Back on the point. Eldebrink shot is blocked. Nielsen after the rebound. To Eldebrink. Side of the net. Sweden trying to center it. Näslund into the far corner. Now to Gustafsson back of the net. Then Gustafsson got it in front. Milnikov dove across and covered up.
Well, there's our friend who took that little shot from Larionov, Carlson. He is alive, I can tell you that, although you wouldn't know it by that. There it is, he blinked. You're going to have a black eye tomorrow. Either on the flight home or the flight into Montreal.
Meanwhile, 19 seconds remain here in the first period. 1:21 left in the penalty to Larionov of the Soviet Union. Sweden's forward line, Gustafsson, Näslund, and Kent Nielsen.
Kent Nielsen, by the way, Dan, playing in his last international tournament. He says that this is it. He will not play for Sweden again. So this is kind of a last hurrah, maybe his last international game for what was a great career.
Here's Eldebrink flipping it around on the boards. Gustafsson to Nielsen, shot up high and wide of the target. Gustafsson battling with Verbuchen. Soviets cleared. Eldebrink shooting. Milnikov got a piece of it and it trickled off to the corner. Good chance there for Sweden, and now just as the puck is cleared out of the zone, first period comes to an end. Krutov had the only goal, an early power play goal for the Soviets. Milnikov did the rest as he blanked Sweden. And after one period here at the Kops Coliseum, 1-0 in favor of the Soviet Union. On goal, Sweden 14, the Soviet Union 7. And Milnikov was brilliant in that first period. Somewhat said the Swedes should at least be in a tie position. I look at them that they possibly could be in the lead at this point.
Well, they had enough opportunity there. As a matter of fact, even the Soviet broadcaster Yevgeny Myrov said this could be a 3-1 hockey game in favor of the Swedes right at this point. The Swedes are author of part of their own problem. Brad Park mentioned the the play that Mats Naslund, when he got that good pass from the boards from Gustafsson, he went to his backhand in front rather than just going for a quick shot on the net, and it allowed goaltender Milnikov to make the save in front of the net. That's the kind of thing. You can get a little too cute in this game, too. It's a skill game, but quite often just the simple play will get you the goal, and a little extra move sometimes will allow everybody to get set and prevent you from scoring a goal.
Leave it to our friend Tom Watt. We mentioned the Soviets had double shifted Makarov in the first period on right wing. We couldn't figure out why. They never do that. Tom came up with it. Svetlov, number 16, who had 2 goals against Canada, has not played in this game, and you can't find out very much about the Soviet lineup. They didn't tell us Svetlov wouldn't play. They have him in the lineup, but he's not out there.
Yeah, he was in the lineup and was set to start the game, and I think he got a shift in, but then all of a sudden he's not there. We're looking down on the ice surface right now, and I don't see him, Dan, and I'm wondering whether he was hurt during that period. I know the Soviets would not go into it. There he is, just heading for the bench now. But he's there. He's just either been benched because Tikhonov's mad at him, and he's like, Tikhonov's like any other coach. When he gets mad at a guy, he gets benched. And he may have done something that Tikhonov is not pleased with. Whatever it is, he's not been getting much ice time in this game. He got none through the final 15 minutes of the period.
Well, I didn't even see him as they went to the bench. He's number 16. Saw Samak, number 18, but I didn't see number 16 at all.
And you're right. I don't see him.
1:02 to kill off, and the penalty to Larionov for the Soviet Union. So Sweden trailing 1-0. Starting off on the power play. They're already 0 for 2 with the man advantage tonight. Here's Eldebrink, number 25, going back to pick it up. Sweden on a power play. Eldebrink dumps it in. Krutov back to get it. Naslund tried to steal it. Now Fetisov trying to clear it out. Eldebrink held it in. Naslund back of the net, but Konstantinov checked it, and Krutov clears it away. And the Swedes have to retreat. Lindmark feeding it over for Albeline, number 3. Tony Albeline, who's ticketed for the Quebec Nordiques this coming season. Now Gustafsson, who's back with the Washington Capitals after a year back in Sweden this past winter. Gustafsson clearing it in for Naslund. Naslund cutting in, centered off a skate, and then cleared away by Fetisov. Loose puck and a breakaway for the Soviets, and a big save by Lindmark. As Krutov got a loose puck and walked in alone, and Lindmark had to come up very big. Krutov came from nowhere to get that breakaway. And it's cleared away by Sweden. Penalized player back on the ice, so team's back at full strength. Here's Fetisov shooting it to center. Now Sundstrom trying to get it into the zone. Can't. Lomakin dropping it back, and here's Semyonov, number 30, ahead to Priyakin, who's lost his helmet. Priyakin taken out in the far corner by Carlson. Now back on the point. The Dotov shot is blocked, and number 9, Rundqvist has it for Sweden. He's bottled up on the boards. What are they saying down there? You figure that out. Here's a loose puck. Flyers Carlson trying to clear it out. And it comes to center ice. Fired back in. Carlson breaks it up again. Now Rundqvist, number 9. For Sweden. Long pass ahead. Kent Nielsen racing in. But Fedotov is there to touch it. It's icing against Sweden. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Never a good angle on Fetisov. Now watch Fetisov as he picks it up. He found Krutov on the breakaway at center ice. Krutov goes to his backhand here. Going right with him was Lindmark. So the goaltenders again starring as they usually do on a high-level play in a tournament.
Beckhoff on a face-off against Anders Carlson, number 20, deep in the Swedish end of the rink. And now Telvin and Homatov do some pushing as they line up to the right of the two centermen. And Koharski comes over, so does Ron Finn, to keep those two apart. Now Beckhoff and Carlson get ready for the face-off. Second period just underway. Soviets leading 1-0. Carlson wins the face-off. And it's cleared out of there by Telvin, but he didn't get it all the way out. Telvin tries again. Flips it up on right wing for Bergquist, who shot at the center. Now Telvin firing it over on left wing for Södergren. He races in, but the Soviets are there first, and Gusarov trying to clear it. Now they do shoot it down into the Swedish end of the rink, and Peter Anderson, number 19, back to get it. Gets it to Bergquist, who flipped it to center. Demienski knocks it down there. Peter Anderson broke it up. Now Kamensky carried in, and it's offside at the Swedish blue line. The Soviet coach, Tikkanen, he was not happy with the officiating the other night. He gave Kevin Collins, the linesman, a little tug at the bench. I don't think I've ever seen that before while play was underway in any hockey game I've done.
It wasn't even a little tug. He grabbed him with both hands.
Well, I'm being kind. I'm a kind man.
Kind broadcaster.
Here's the Soviets in their own zone. Into center ice for Priakin, number 22, to Semak. Semak in front. Priakin had his skate on it, but never got a stick to it. And Pettersson, number 21, has it for Sweden. Into center ice. Tomekla knocking it back for Pettersson. Now back for Eldebrink, number 25. Anders Eldebrink to Eklund. Shot in. And going back to get it is Fetisov. Shot it to center. Priakin takes over there. Over onto the wing for Himmelev. And he's upended on a good body check by Albolin. Pettersson back for Sweden. Long shot, wide by several feet. Larionov for the Soviets. Larionov, number 11. Stick handling beautifully. Can't get around Thomas Janssen. Now Rupe on the far side. Battles with two Soviet players. Gustafsson trying to clear it. Larionov stole it. Larionov put it right through the crease, but quickly cleared away by Naslund. And Kasatonov is back for the Soviets. Kasatonov is checked. Gets it again to Makarov. Broken up at the Swedish blue line, and back comes Janssen. To Gustafsson. Centering. Naslund was there, but was tugged at by Fedotov, but no penalty was called. Here's Makarov. Into center ice. Kasatonov bumped by Gustafsson. Now Rupe getting it in for Sweden. Makarov firing it around on the boards. Rundqvist at the point held it in. And again, it is Fedotov firing it down with Carlson, number 6. Lars Carlson for Sweden. Long pass ahead. Sundstrom racing in. Fedotov is there, and it's icing against Sweden. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Fans are going to really enjoy watching this young fella play. 23-year-old Tommy Albolin. And there's his check. Just got the edge of the hip in, but with full speed. Himmelev went flying. Kind of a tough kid, too. He started a bench clearing brawl, or at least a brawl in Sweden last year. They're a rarity. Very high stick to a member of the Brynäs team, which is the team that Mats Naslund came from.
Here the Soviets from the face-off. Trying to work it in front. Back on the point, Gusarov shooting off the blocker or stick of Lindmark and over top of the net. And Telvin, or number 27, the defenseman, Telvin, couldn't get it out. Now Sundstrom tries. He couldn't get it out. Semyonov held it in. And Telvin goes back again. Telvin rink wide for Peter Anderson. Ahead to Kent Nielsen. Nielsen flips it through. And going back for the Soviets, Stelnov around on the boards. And the Soviets clear it to center. Kent Nielsen drops it all the way back. And Team Sweden from their own blue line. Anderson to Albolin. Flips it in. Going back, Stelno. Sundstrom into forecheck. Gusarov is there to pick up the loose puck for the Soviet Union. Out on the wing for Priakin. Sergei Priakin. Moving in, a diving poke check by Eldebrink. Priakin still with the puck, however. Trying to center, intercepted. And back comes Sundstrom, number 17, Peter Sundstrom. Dropping it back, Eldebrink shoots one, and that hits Fetisov and bounced to the corner. Fetisov tries to clear it, and Priakin shoots it down near the Swedish blue line. Albolin clears it back up. Now it's cleared in again, and Eldebrink goes back after it for Sweden. Sweden trailing 1-0. Anders Eldebrink, number 25. Up the middle. Pass for Carlson, intercepted, and Homatov, number 15. Checked by Alvelin, back ahead on right wing for Södergren, moving in. Trying to center, Södergren shooting, glove save, Milnikov.
Alvelin made a terrific move right at the line on Fetisov that allowed Team Canada, or at least the Swedes, not Team Canada obviously, it was just a little bit before that, and then getting set, a shot that paved the way to that shot in the glove save, which I think would have missed the net. But Milnikov not allowing any further play to go on there. Play by Bergqvist.
Sweden on a face-off, trying to hold it in, but the Soviets break out of there. Beckhoff with a long lead pass. Catches his man on the fly, who is Krutov. Krutov shot. Stick save by Lindmark as he went to his knees. Krutov into the corner, trying to get it loose for Beckhoff. One of the Swedish players, Anderson, has lost his stick. Anderson trying to get his stick back. Soviets get the puck. Krutov shot. Beckhoff a drive. He scores! Number 27, Beckhoff. And it's 2-0 for the Soviet Union.
A lot of work in there by Krutov. Watch it again. Krutov is number 9 up against the boards. He's going to get a quick shot away from the boards. That caused a lot of trouble. The defense then started running around on the rebound, and Beckhoff was there to put it in. Here comes the shot. Went through the legs of the defenseman, and Beckhoff quickly pouncing on it as the defenseman there, Lars Carlson, got turned around. And so Beckhoff, the little guy, doing a good job right in front of the net, puts it in.
Only 5'8", 155 pounds is Beckhoff, but he just makes it 2-0. And Sweden in the sudden death semifinal game now trail by 2. Here comes Rupe, number 24. For Sweden, Rupe can't get it in front as he's well tied up on the play by Semak, number 18. And then Semak able to clear it to center. Here's a chance for Bent Gustafsson. Gustafsson dropping it back, comes to Peter Anderson. Anderson firing it around. Rupe in the corner couldn't get a stick on it. Now Mats Naslund. Naslund squeezed out on the play. That's Rupe pinned in against the boards, trying to get it free. Does, but a Soviet player there to clear it in. Priakin trying to get it up. Gustafsson held it in. Now Priakin again, number 22. He's checked from behind. And we're going to get a penalty here. To Sweden. Is it Mats Naslund? I believe so. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Now it's easy to get in shape and stay fit in the convenience of your own home. Thanks to Sears, America's #1 fitness source. The Sears exclusive LifeFlex Home Gym is a total body workout machine with a compact, space-saving design. You can perform over 90 body-shaping exercises.
And its convenient folding design is perfect for my small apartment.
It's the same quality you'll find at health clubs.
You'll also receive the angled arm pad, the low row bar, the ankle strap, and the ab strap. From beginner to advanced workouts, the LifeFlex Home Gym helps you achieve the fitness results you want. The LifeFlex Home Gym is just $599.99 with free delivery. Because it's from Sears, you know your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. Sears, the good life at a great price, guaranteed.
Call 1-800-587-4433 to order your Sears exclusive LifeFlex Home Gym with free delivery. Have your Sears or other credit card ready. Call now.
Beauty, adventure, drama. All these and more can be yours in the wonderful world of art. And with this free art test from Art Instruction Schools, you can find out if you have the interest and desire needed to become a serious art student. To get your free art test without cost or obligation, call this toll-free number. Don't delay. Call this toll-free number now. Call 1-800-754-0077.
Mats Naslund going off for hooking. A little too aggressive again in the center ice zone as he checks on Priakin. He just got the hook in and away he flew. And now the Soviets go on a power play. 2-0. Beckhoff from Krutov at 7:29 for the other goal. Krutov had scored in the first period on the power play.
Soviets are 1 for 2 with the man advantage tonight. The early goal by Krutov coming on the power play, and they really had a chance here to put Sweden halfway to bed.
Look back to the World Hockey Championships in Vienna last year. Sweden was down 2-0 in the game against the Soviets in the medal round, came back and tied that game with 1.5 minutes left at 2-2, and went on to beat Canada and win the World Championship.
Here's Larionov making it 3-0. Power play goal by Larionov.
Put it right between Lindmark's legs. Larionov quickly getting on that and going to his backhand. Puck came out of the corner very quickly. Larionov just circling as Makarov picks it up in the corner, threw it back out in front. Larionov's parked just off of the side of the net. Where was the defense? And all he had to do was back hand it in. Again, the puck just came out. And so it's 3-0. And now it's getting to be a very heavy job for the Swedes to try and come back from this.
Makarov and Fetisov get the assist. The power play goal by Larionov. Now Carlson for Sweden breaks in, and Milnikov made a glove save and then held on to it. It's 3-0 for the Soviet Union. Larionov's goal at 8:37. The second power play goal of the night for the Soviet Union, and this little guy Milnikov has showed the folks something here tonight.
Well, you look in the background there he is. That's Tikhonov, the coach. In the foreground there, if you barely see him, is the fellow that they're beginning to tout as perhaps the heir apparent to the coaching job with the Soviet national team. His name is Igor Dmitriev, who played years on the Moscow Selects, which is the Soviet national B team. He was the captain of that team for years, and then coached the wings of the Soviets in the elite league. But he's beginning to become a spokesman for the Soviet Union team.
Here's Pervukin dropping one back. It's out in front to Pervukin, and his backhand try went wide as he took the pass from Semyonov. Soviets lead 3-0. And controlling for Sweden is Södergren, number 22. Over to Anders Carlson. He couldn't get anywhere. Södergren tries again, just flips it in. Back for the Soviets. Fedotov, number 14, around in the boards to Pryakin. Pryakin being forechecked. 2 Swedes in there, one to take the man, one to get the puck, and here's Bergqvist at the point with a shot wide of the net. Now, Johnson couldn't get a shot off. It's cleared to center. And here's Semyonov, number 30, for the Soviets. Semyonov moving in. Fires it around on the boards. Pryakin is there. He's checked, and now Rundqvist works it out on right wing. And here comes Sweden with the long shot by Bergqvist, handled easily by Milnikov. Kamensky then tips one. Down the ice for the Soviets, and it's Peter Anderson back for Sweden. Anderson to Eklund. Eklund ahead to Anderson to Pettersson. Good defensive play by Gusarov to break up a 2-on-1. Back is Kamensky. Can't get around Telvin, the defenseman. And then it's cleared out by Sweden, and here's Pettersson, number 21. To Eklund, now to Mikhail Anderson. He's checked at the blue line. Kamensky losing, but Homatov is there. He gets it into center ice, and here's Bekov. Over onto the wing. Breaking in is Homatov, but Telvin breaks that up to Pettersson. Pettersson breaking in. Leaves it for Eklund. And the shot went off Fetisov to the corner. Fetisov standing tall defensively. Here's Bekov for Pryakin down left wing. Gustafsson there to clear it away. And it's shot away by Sweden with Fetisov back to get it. 3-0, the Soviets leading. Peter Anderson over onto the wing, and here's Mats Naslund, number 26. Naslund shooting it in. Fetisov trying to clear it. Rupe held it in for Sweden. Now Naslund in to get it. Naslund behind the net to Rupe, number 24. Fetisov, big, strong defenseman, able to freeze Rupe, and then the puck against the boards. And then they push and shove, and we get a stoppage, and we're also going to get a penalty as Endemico runs into Koharski. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
You got it, man. So what do you want to talk about?
Cindy. We broke up. But she was perfect for me.
Oh, what a catch.
Oh, she sure was. She just tore out my heart and stomped on it.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, it really does. Oh, you guys are great.
Being there for a friend? Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
For red, dry eyes, try Clear Eyes. It removes redness and has the ingredient to moisturize. Wow. The difference is clear. Clear Eyes.
At Gateway, we know many businesses aren't big enough to have their own computer department.
What about training for my new guy?
That's no problem, too. That's why we put business centers in our Gateway Country stores.
People are hooked up to this hub.
Right. Share files, share one internet connection.
Oh, cool. So if you have a question about installation or need training, you can drop on by. Why do we spend so much time with the people who use our computers? Because in Gateway Country, people rule. Stop by or give us a call.
Babe Ruth.
He did think that he was bigger than baseball.
Bobby Orr.
Changed the game of hockey more than any player ever did.
Ted Williams is the John Wayne of sports.
Lawrence Taylor.
I was set up like a mother. Mickey Mantle.
Women threw themselves off of 9-story buildings.
Joe DiMaggio.
I don't think he thought his wife should be publicly exposing herself.
Sports Century. Weeknights at 8. Only on ESPN Classic.
Referee Don Koharski has just called a delay of game penalty on Vyacheslav Fetisov. At this point, I think you're going to have to see the Swedes start to open it up on this power play. They are down 3-0. They really have to score. Here it is, Fetisov on Rupe. Now, as the puck goes down, Fetisov goes down on top of it, and then he reached out and put his hand over top of it. He reached out about 3 times, finally got control of it, and got called for it.
Sweden trailing 3-0 with a chance here on the power play. Shot by Albeline from the point wide of the net. And then it's cleared by the Soviets. And Albeline has to go back and get it. Albeline and Eldebrink are the point men with Gustafsson, Naslund, and Rupe up front. Here's Naslund. Number 26, Mats Naslund. Checked by Krutov. Now Rupe. Into Gustafsson, misses him, and Makarov takes over for the Soviets and clears it out of there. Eldebrink going back. Well, Lindmark came out to help him and feeds it up to Bent Gustafsson. Back again for Eldebrink to Rupe. Number 24. He moves in and the shot is blocked, but it's offside anyway. Magnus Rupe, who's ticketed for the Philadelphia Flyers when the Canada Cup is over.
Well, he'll be heading straight to their training camp. I hope they'll give him a couple of days off, but he's a fella who I think is going to fit into the Flyers system very well. He's not the greatest skater, but he's a good, tough checker and kind of a guy that keeps coming at you. I've seen a lot of that during this tournament from him. 6'1", 185 pounds, so he's got good size. Grinder and a corner man. It's become a kind of player that we never used to see come out of Sweden, but in recent years, you're going to realize the value of that kind of player, as has Team Canada, may I say, who, of course, have kept the Tockets and the Brent Sutters around and have used them with great effect.
1:10 left in the penalty to Fetisov, as Semyonov now whacks it down near the Swedish blue line, and here's Carlson back to get it. He leaves it there for Thomas Jansson, number 8, the New York Islander veteran defenseman. Jansson shoots it in, but Sweden goes offside. A little over anxious on the play, trying to break in was the other defenseman on the play, Lars Carlson.
Look at the Swedish bench. They have found themselves, after outplaying the Soviets in the first period, suddenly giving up 2 early goals here in the second period. And I think they have to be a bit downcast right now because they could have had a lead at the end of the first period. Now it's all uphill.
Here's a line for Sweden of number 9 Rundqvist, number 5 Kent Nielsen, and number 17 Peter Sundstrom. Sundstrom, a former Ranger who signed as a free agent with the Washington Capitals. Rundqvist used to be in the Montreal Canadiens farm system. Here's Sundstrom trying to get it. Kent Nielsen in there forechecking for Canada, or at least for Sweden. Nielsen trying to work it free. Back on the point. Carlson centered, deflected by Rundqvist, but it went wide, and Gusarov tries to clear it. Sweden, Janssen at the point. Shot is blocked and cleared out of there by number 4, Stelnov, with Rundqvist back to get it. Actually, it's Janssen getting it, giving it to Rundqvist, number 9. 10 seconds left in the penalty. Rundqvist trying to break in. Kasatonov is there. He fires it up. Good play at the point by Carlson to hold it in, but now the Soviets break up 2-on-1. Bekov trying to slide in, and he's upset on the play by the only remaining man back, Thomas Janssen. Now the penalty is up. The Soviets attack, and here's Bekov moving in, trying to beat Homatov, and Lindmark reaches out and made a glove save and held it. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
ESPN the magazine.
Well, thank you for calling.
Dan, can I put you on hold? Dan Patrick wants a free Polo Fleece pullover.
He writes a column for the magazine. Yeah. But he's not a new subscriber.
Sorry, Dan. No can do on the fleece. It's only for new subscribers. You mean you're actually calling to subscribe? Okay, sure. Okay.
Everyone wants our warm, roomy Polar Fleece pullover. It has a half-zip front and embroidered ESPN the magazine logo. And best of all, it's free.
ESPN the magazine. It's Rich Eisen. He's called 3 times.
Sorry, Rich. I agree, it's a great-looking fleece, but it's only for new subscribers.
Subscribe now to ESPN the magazine and get your sports the way it ought to be. Big and bold, fast and furious. With in-your-face photos, amazing interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage of what's happening now and what's happening next. All with ESPN attitude.
Stuart Scott wants the fleece.
Booyah! Call now for ESPN the magazine. Get 26 issues, a year's worth for just $1 an issue. That's 66% off the newsstand price. And your fleece pullover is free.
It's Chris Berman.
He could go all the way!
Call now for ESPN the magazine and your free fleece pullover.
1-800-530-6633.
Who says there's no body contact in international hockey? How about this? Over the line, Carlson, and he is flattened on that play. That was Fedotov. And then coming back the other way, trying to make the little deke is Bekov, and he goes flying.
So some bodily contact here in the second period. Sweden needs some goals, though. They're down 3-0. Let's see how this unit can do. Peter Anderson dropping it to Telvin, firing it up the middle and all the way down into the Soviets' end of the rink. Fetisov back to get it. Fetisov shot it into center ice. Telvin knocking it down. Now Bergquist back to Peter Anderson. Now to Telvin, number 27. Back to Anderson, headmanning to Carlson, number 20. Number 20 is Anders Carlson. On the boards for Södergren. Back behind the net, Carlson to Södergren. Flipped it right through the goal crease, but nobody there to get a stick on it. Now, Bergquist center, Södergren shot. The rebound, they score! Flying flat on the ice, and getting a stick on it was Bergquist.
Just reaching behind him and just getting a stick. You're right, Dan. That was the only thing he could do. And I think he had a little bit of luck going for him. Either that or some of the greatest eye-hand coordination you've ever seen. The puck came out from the corner and a good shot. And it got away from Milnikov. Now watch, he reaches out and boom. Never give up on it. That's the old line. Just reached back. There was a loose puck directly in front of the crease, and he knocked it in. And the Swedes got a goal they desperately needed. Bergqvist, his second goal of the tournament.
Well, let's see if that gives Team Sweden some life. They cut the Soviets' lead to 3-1. Eklund dropping it back to Telvin, now to Pettersson. And Lars Gunnar Pettersson fires it in. Delnov back to get it. That's Eklund into forecheck. Now Larionov for the Soviets. Number 11, Igor Larionov. Centering the big line with Makarov and Krutov. It's dumped in by Larionov. Eklund trying to get away from some forechecking. Gets some help from Albaline. Ed Manning it into center, but Gusarov there to clear it away. Here's Makarov. He's checked, and now Pettersson shoots it in. Gusarov back for the Soviets. To Krutov. Ed Manning it to Makarov, but Carlson, number 6, is there defensively for Sweden to match Naslund. Naslund can't get it into the zone. Larionov clearing it down. Carlson back to get it. Sweden work at the center. Here's Bent Gustafsson trying to hit Thomas Janssen. Intercepting is the Soviet player Lomakin. He couldn't get it to Makarov, and out of the goal comes the goaltender Lindenmark to clear it away. However, Lomakin still in there battling, trying to forecheck. And now Team Sweden have the puck back of their own goal. Semyonov gets it for the Soviets. Over to Makarov. Into the corner to Lomakin. Around on the boards, and Naslund is there to clear it. Makarov couldn't hold it in, and here's Rupe. But Semyonov gets back. Now Rupe trying to battle on the boards, but it's cleared back out by the Soviets. 3.5 minutes left in the second period. 3-1. Soviets leading. This is Peter Anderson leaving it for Thomas Janssen. Janssen for Sweden. Ahead to Sundstrom. Sundstrom number 17, but the Soviets for Buchan there to break it up, and Semyonov now flips it on the boards. And Telvin has to go back for Team Sweden. To Rundqvist, number 9. Rundqvist stick handling in. Wrist shot wide by 3 or 4 feet. Now Telvin shoots one. Melnikov the save. And Bekov clears the rebound to Homatov. Peter Anderson breaks it up. And here's Kent Nielsen. Nielsen for Sweden, the former Edmonton Oiler last spring when they won the Stanley Cup. Nielsen gets it again, but can't get around the defense, and now we're going to get a penalty here. An interference call, I believe, against Rundqvist of Sweden. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Hi. I hope you don't mind I brought a friend.
No. Of course not. Oh, thank you.
He's from Canada.
Wow, great place.
Thanks.
Oh, brother. Hey, we're Derbs.
Look up, see blue, Labatt Blue.
Oh, finally.
You think you're harder on your engine than most people? Well, good. Because there's a new motor oil made to take it. Introducing new Pennzoil Synthetic with Penzane. Penzane was developed for the space program and is used by NASA. Don't change your driving, just change your oil. Pennzoil Synthetic. It's rocket science for your car.
Hello? No, I can't save you money on car insurance. You want Geico, not Gecko. Well, that's uncalled for.
Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. At Geico, we get the ball rolling on your claim quickly. Even in the middle of the night. Geico. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Gretzky to Trailer. Gets it to Gretzky. Right side to McSorley. Back in front to Gretzky. He scores! The all-time leading goal scorer.
This is ESPN Classic.
Thomas Rundqvist goes off for interference at 17:26. You'll get a chance to see it at the bottom right-hand corner up against the, there it is. By the way, the goal, Bergqvist scoring from Södergren and Peter Anderson at 14:39 has put Sweden on the board. They trail by 2, but they've also had 2 power play goals scored against them and are playing shorthanded at this moment.
That's been one of the keys. 2 of the 3 Soviet goals, the first and the third, coming when they had the man advantage. Here's Carlson, upended by Larionov. Fans thought there should have been a penalty call, but none was. And now Elbeline flips it into center ice. Larionov dropping it to Fetisov. Fetisov and Kasatonov are the point men, with Larionov, Krutov, and Makarov up front. Their so-called green unit and their number 1 unit. Here's Fetisov. The number 11, Larionov. Now to Fetisov, ahead to Krutov. Long shot. Lindmark makes the save, and Eldebrink tries to clear it. Krutov in there to get it. Dropping it to Larionov. To Kasatonov. Shoots one, loose in front. Backhander by Krutov. Stopped by Lindmark and then hit with a high stick. And we get a stoppage with 1:14 left in the penalty to Team Sweden's Thomas Rundqvist.
You see all kinds of plays. There's Eldebrink, by the way. For all you Anders Eldebrink fans who thought he wore number 2 earlier in the tournament,
he did.
And so he is now number 25. It would appear that his sweater was torn or something. Shots a goal in this period, even at 6 apiece. Talking about the way the Soviets set up on a power play, watching them coming out of their zone. They throw their 3 forwards all to one side, curling off to, in this case, the right wing, and then hit the middle man as they came up through center ice. Other 2 players then running a kind of a pick at the blue line, which allowed them to get inside the Swedish zone. They have a number of different ways of coming out of their end, but that was one of the more interesting ways.
Now here's the line of Bekov at center, Homatov and Kamensky on the wings, with Stelnov and Gusarov the point men. Here's Kamensky, one of the heroes for the Soviets in Game 2 at Rendezvous in Quebec City, with center to Kamensky. And his shot that time went wide. Bekov back to Stelnov. Return to Bekov, to Gusarov. Shooting, big save, Lindmark, and Eklund comes up with a rebound and clears it out of there. 48 seconds left in the penalty, 1:20 left in the period. 3-1 the Soviets leading. Here's Gusarov, number 3. Trying to fire it in, actually caught by Janssen on the play. And then they're going to whistle it down and rule it was a hand pass. They usually, or quite often, will call a penalty in this competition when you close your hand, and Janssen did for a second there.
Well, they called it for the hand pass, as you mentioned. You see Kamensky go to the bench. What a great second game of Rendezvous he had. The 2 key goals, of course, he scored a goal in the opening game of that series as well. So in the 2 games, he's kind of the Soviet star. And that despite the fact that he didn't have a very good season in the Soviet Union. He had a grand total of 13 goals on the regular year. As mentioned earlier in the tournament, the feeling is that he has to get a little stronger. He's young yet. He has to kind of build up a little more muscle, able to handle the heavy going of international hockey.
Now Samyonov, Lomakin, and Priyakin up front. Against Svetlov, not playing tonight. Here's Semyonov. Soviets still in a power play, and it's cleared out of there by Telvin. Now here's Kent Nielsen trying to go around Fetisov, and Fetisov says no, sir, and comes up with the puck. Fetisov loses to Kent Nielsen. Nielsen trying to move in, lets a shot go. It's off a stick and up over the glass. 6 seconds left in the penalty, 40 seconds left in the period.
Not very often you're going to see Fetisov taking off a puck inside his own zone as he was there. Some good hard work by Kent Nielsen, who's on his way to Italy to play hockey next year. He's got a contract that I guess every player would dream of. He's getting $100,000 tax paid and all expenses, and $1,000 a point. Now, on a 36-game schedule, $1,000 a point. We even shocked the truck. Yes, $1,000 a point.
Could wind up with 50 assists and no goals and still be rich, right?
That's right. But, you know he's going to get 100 points.
36 games, huh?
Yep.
Who's his agent? Here's Telvin back for Team Sweden, firing it all the way down the ice, wide of the target, and back to get it is Perbukin, trying to clear it to center. Team's back at full strength now. We're down to the final 20 seconds of period 2. Here's Peter Anderson for Sweden to number 22, Södergren. Trying to feed it in for Bergquist, who has the goal, but it's quickly shot right back out by the Soviets. And going back is Eldebrink with just 5 seconds left in the period. Anders Eldebrink. Long shot, and that's the end of the period. Soviets score 2 more. Sweden add 1. It's a 3-1 Soviet lead in this sudden death semifinal. Could be much different had Milnikov not been red hot in that first period.
Well, he's been very important, and Lindmark in this period had his problems with the giving up the goals. One of them on a power play, the other one to Bekov. But the last goal scored by Sweden. They'll think about that as they hit the dressing room.
After 2 periods, it's the Soviet Union 3, Sweden 1 here at the Cox Coliseum in Hamilton, Ontario. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
It's here, waiting for you. Inside is unlimited strength and power. It builds confidence and reshapes your body. It can change everything. This is Bowflex, an entire gym in one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance, all in the convenience of your own home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Bowflex is real. The results are real. The question is, are you ready for Bowflex? For a free video and brochure, call or go online at bowflexdirect.com. Do the research, listen to real customers, then place your order online and get started. Bowflex. Who said change isn't easy?
Are you near a phone? Can you take down a number? Then call to find out about term life insurance at competitive rates from a respected insurer, Protective Life Insurance Company. A 35-year-old could get a $200,000 policy for less than $14 a month. A 40-year-old could get a $250,000 policy for less than $20 a month. For your free quote, call now. Matrix Direct, 1-800-887-8512.
Let's go now to the third period. We're just over 2 minutes in, and the Soviets still lead 3-1 as we return to the 1987 Canada Cup semifinal between Sweden and the USSR on ESPN Classic.
Team Sweden penalty. Al Boline goes into the penalty box for hooking. There was a delayed penalty being called. Al Boline may have been the retaliator on this play. There was a high sticking call. The hook is right there. And this is the retaliation right there that probably, well, that's what caused the second penalty. So there it is. That's the sequence then. The hooking and then the high sticking. So they're still even strength as Semak went in along with Al Boline.
So each team a man short. 3-1, Soviets leading early in the third period. Sudden death semifinal game. Buck shot in by Telvin for Sweden. Going back, Kasatonov, number 7. Kasatonov. Trying to flip it to Makarov. Peter Anderson breaks it up to Rundqvist. Rundqvist with Kent Nielsen. Nielsen's shot wide of the target. And then the Soviets break out. Here's Krutov, but Peter Anderson knocked it away. Now Rundqvist over to Kent Nielsen, leaving it for Rundqvist. In on the boards, Anderson shot. Nielsen deflected it. And a good save there by Sergei Milnikov, and he froze it.
Well, Kent Nielsen got himself all alone in front of the net on that play, and then they've got a great deflection. Milnikov came up and smothered any possible opportunity to deflect it into the net by just coming right up on the puck, but Nielsen with a great chance. There's Big Kent, the Magic Man. They called him in Atlanta and Calgary. Went to Minnesota last year and finally on to the Edmonton Oilers, where he played on a Stanley Cup winner for the first time. Kind of a capper to a long 10-year career in the National Hockey League. Here it is, Anderson. That's Nielsen that's going to get in front of the net. Anderson then it fed it in. He's behind Fetisov and Kasatonov.
Good save by Melnikov. Now the Soviets. Fedotov trying to clear it. Rundqvist held it in, but now Semyonov breaking up. Or Semyonov breaking up. Trying to get through the defense. Semyonov, number 30. Trying to center. Fedotov into the corner. Fedotov shoots one. Lindmark makes a stick save, and Kent Nielsen working it free for Carlson. He got it to center, but the Soviets take over. Here's Fedotov, who's on defense with Verbuchen. Into center ice to... Now Lomakin picks it up. Lomakin taking the pass from Semyonov, but couldn't get around the defense. And Janssen has it for Team Sweden. Head to Naslund. Broken up at the blue line by Stelnov. Stelnov with Lomakin. Lomakin shoots. Lindmark the save. Big rebound. And here's Gustafsson with Naslund to center. 2-on-2 break. Pass in for Naslund. Poked away. There's a drive by Eldebrink that Melnikov handles. And Gusarov starts back. Gustafsson trying him up. Teams are back at full strength now. Drop pass to Fetisov. He moves in from the left point. Fetisov. Lindmark a save on the short side. And Eldebrink comes back for Sweden. Now they flip it in, but Fetisov was there. Here's Fetisov. From defense to offense. Firing it ahead for Beckhoff, number 27. Wrist shot wide by 2 or 3 feet. Bounces to center, Kasatonov. Number 7 for the Soviets. Long pass, Telvin can't knock it down. Kamensky, number 13, in on goal. Lindmark the save, puck still loose. Then cleared by Sweden. And Anderson, Mikael Anderson, number 12, fires it to Telvin. Telvin's pass, Kasatonov to Beckhoff. He moves in, was checked. Kamensky, number 13, taken out on the play. And then a big pile-up in the corner. 3 Swedish players, 1 Soviet, and we get a stoppage. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Don't stop, keep on doing what you're doing. Gotta keep moving, don't stop, keep on doing what you're doing. Gotta keep moving, don't stop, keep on doing what you're doing. Gotta keep moving, don't stop, keep on doing what you're doing.
Sam Adams, the world's most award-winning beers.
Don't stop, keep on doing what you're doing.
I've got love on my mind.
When that special feeling comes, say it with Body and Soul.
Honey, you are my shining star.
Presenting Body and Soul.
Baby, can you stop the rain from falling here and now?
You'll hear Luther Vandross.
I promise to love faithfully.
Freddie Jackson.
Rock me tonight.
Get Body and Soul on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes.
When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing.
You'll get 24 sensual classics.
You know you did. I wanna shake you down. Some people are made for each other. Some people.
Then you'll have a chance to audition other great Body and Soul albums.
How about us? Let me love you down.
Call now to get Body and Soul.
To order Body and Soul, call 1-800-717-0808 or send $17.99 for 2 cassettes or $19.99 for 2 CDs, plus $3.99 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
5 seconds left. Kramer back to pass. He's going deep down the right side, and it is fought for, and it's touchdown!
This is ESPN Classic.
There's Valery Kamensky. I think he's going to be a pretty good player. Every once in a while he shows you a flash like this as he got around the defense and then over top, and that led to all kinds of difficulties for Lindmark, who was right out of the play at that point. Luckily, the defense covered up and cleared it away.
Now Samak out on a forward line with Humalev and Priakin for the Soviets. They lead 3-1, 14-11 left in the third period. In a sudden death semifinal such as this, we would have overtime if the teams were tied. But right now, the Soviets have a 2-goal lead. Bergquist jumps the gun and delays the drop of the puck. Now the Swedes win the draw. Carlson getting it back there, and it's controlled by the other Carlson, Lars, the number 20 Anders Carlson. Nice move in across the line to Södergren, number 22. Södergren trying to center. Shot around by Verbuchen. Swedes trying to play more aggressively as they send in another man, but Soviets clear it out anyway. Janssen back to get it. Janssen cleared it to Carlson. Now Humalev trying to get it, but breaking out is number 22, Södergren. Leaving it there. Pass in for Södergren. Shot right back out by Priakin. And racing after it. Humalev centering one. Samak was open, but it bounced over his stick. Eldebrink for Sweden. Cleared it to center ice. Stelnov carries right back in for the Soviets. Eldebrink trying to tie him up. Stelnov couldn't get the shot off and then got upended. And here's Södergren passing for Thomas Janssen. Too far for him. And back to pick it up. Krutov back to get it for the Soviets. Krutov feeding one. Makarov back for the Soviet Union. Makarov can't get away from the forechecker. Now Stelnov into center ice to Krutov. Krutov moving in, trying to shot. Lindmark got his hand on it. Krutov to Makarov in the corner. Behind the net, Gustafsson clears it away. Now centered. Larionov shot blocked and into the corner for Naslund. Back comes Sweden. To Eldebrink. That's knocked away. Now Krutov breaks away, feeding Larionov, who's open. Shoots. Lindmark comes out. Makes the save. Drop pass back. Fetisov to Makarov. He scores! Makarov left alone at the side of the net. Deflects in. Fetisov shot from the point.
Well, the first initial rush was what caused the problems for Lindmark. Here it is. And a great play is made off this shot as he failed to corral it. Now the loose puck comes back. Fetisov will spot Makarov off at the corner. There you see number 24. Nobody picked him up. The defenseman was behind the net on the play. Tied up back there by Krutov. And now one would almost say we can start talking about the Soviets in the Canada Cup final again.
4-1. That goal by Makarov makes it for the Soviet Union. Now the puck cleared down the ice by Fetisov, and as Anderson goes back, it's icing against the Soviets. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
Has a goal and a couple of assists. Makarov has a goal and 2 assists. 2 assists for Fetisov. The Greens are doing their job tonight.
Larionov with a goal as well. And it's 4-1 for the Soviets. Here, as we approach the midway mark of the third period, Telvin for Sweden. Trying to feed it up. It comes back to Telvin. Telvin to Rundqvist, number 9. Thomas Rundqvist shoots it in. Fetisov back to get it. Fetisov breaks out on right wing. 3-on-2 break for the Soviets. Fetisov to Kamensky. Shoots. Short side save by Lindmark. Just got a stick on it. Now center to Kasatonov. He's checked. Soviets holding it in, however. Semyonov tied up, and then it's cleared out of there by Mikael Anderson for Sweden. Here's Kasatonov for the Soviets. Winding it around on the boards. Soviets get it again, but Rundqvist is there to quickly clear it. Kasatonov back defensively. Now ahead to Homatov, who shoots it in. Lindmark trying to clear it. Knocked down. Here's a chance for the Soviets. Bekov a shot wide. Oh, another try by Homatov wide of the net. Now at the other side for Bukin. Into the corner. Homatov centering. Bekov checked before he could shoot. on the play by Bergquist. And they drop it back to Telvin. Telvin firing it out of there, as that's all the Swedish team could do against that pressure of the Soviets. And it's icing against Team Sweden. 10:19 remaining.
We're talking about the Greens and the fact that they're controlling this game. There have been 11 scoring points given out in this game. 10 of them have gone to members of the so-called Green Unit, that World All-Star team of Krutov, Larionov, Makarov, Kazatonov, and Fetisov. And the big men, as we mentioned, are Krutov and Makarov with 3 points each tonight. So it's 4-1. The Soviets leading Sweden. Canada against Czechoslovakia tomorrow night at the Montreal Forum. Be on the air with that one. There's Alexei Kucherov, who seems to have been around forever. Only 23, 7 years with the Soviet national team already.
Here's Team Sweden from the faceoff. Eldebrink getting it over to Peter Anderson into Eklund, but that's offside at the Soviet blue line. 10:10 remaining here in the third period.
Much discussion about a potential exodus of Soviet hockey players, perhaps to the National Hockey League. We've had over the years a number of players who have been allowed to leave the Soviet Union to play in Japan and Austria. As a matter of fact, Helmut Balderas is going to play in Japan this year. But when you talk to people of the Soviet team, they are now beginning to say that a fellow named Zubkov is going to be playing in the NHL, and he's going to be allowed. He's a big defenseman. Very mobile kind of a guy, but a defensive style defenseman. And he apparently has been designated as the one that will be allowed to play in the National Hockey League. And we've heard it now from 4 or 5 different sources, so I'm beginning to believe that it's probably true.
There's a chance for the Soviets. Imalev missed the net with the chance, however. Gustafsson trying to clear it. Now Bryakin in the corner doing some work. In front, but Eklund is there to intercept it for Sweden. And he fires it down the ice. Number 3, Kucherov back to get it. Ahead to number 18, Alexander Semak. Pass into center ice, gobbled up by Mikhail Anderson for Sweden. This long shot turned aside by Milnikov. And here's Makarov flipping it into center ice. Number 27, Mikhail Telvin for Sweden. To Rundqvist, number 9. Back to Telvin. Sweden trailing by 3 to Sundstrom in center ice. Sundstrom over to Rundqvist. Rundqvist trying to go wide, but he's tied up on the play by Kasatonov. Now behind the goal, Peter Sundstrom trying to freeze it there, along with Anderson. Koharski hollers, move it. And they'll call play and move the faceoff outside the blue line. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. And now Fetisov to Krutov, into Semyonov, who's in the clear. And he put it right through the goal creases. Lindmark went down and Semyonov missed. And that could have been a 5-1 Soviet lead. Here's Fetisov, under 8 minutes left here in the third period. And now Gustafsson firing one ahead for Tom Eklund. He's tied up on the play, and Krutov is there to clear it back out. Lindmark halfway to the blue line to fire it out for Albeline. Now to Naslund. And Sweden shoot it in. Verbuchen around to Kamensky. He's tied up as Eldebrink pinches in. Now Eklund in the far corner. Trying to get it to Gustafsson, to Naslund. He's checked, and taking over is number 14, Fedotov, who cleared it into center ice. Eldebrink for Sweden. Drops it. Now Eklund with 7 minutes left in the third period. Eldebrink into center ice. Albeline firing it in, and it's taken over by the Soviets, and Verbuchen fires it down into the Swedish end of the rink. Soviets leading 4-1 and checking the Swedes to a standstill at this point. Here's Anderson trying to center. Rundqvist was there, but Semyonov had him tied up. Now centered out in front. And Kucherov ties up Sundstrom, and he's going to get a holding penalty, and Sweden will get a power play chance. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty leaving my dog
alone.
I will feel better about my dad living by himself.
I will know my children are safe.
I will go on vacation and finally be able to relax.
ADT's advanced technology and skilled professionals.
32 left. 4-1 Soviets. Sweden with the last-ditch chance here, perhaps, with a power play opportunity. And their power play tonight has not been very good. 0 for 4 with the man advantage. Maybe that says something for the Soviet penalty killers.
That says something on two sides, but more than anything else, as John D'Amico is going through a rather familiar story, they try to get the edge on a face-off with a power play going on both sides of the Atlantic.
Kind of the most noticeable thing you can observe, Ron, from doing a Canada Cup game between two European teams, the quickness with which they play the game. These games could be over in a couple hours.
Well, this one's going to be about 2 hours and 15 minutes. You're right.
Not many whistles. Here's Rundqvist behind the net for Sweden on the power play. To Anderson. Back to the point. They score! Bergqvist, number 18, blasting it in from the point. Or is it Peter Anderson? It's Peter Anderson, number 19.
It went all the way from the blue line, and it was a screen shot. I don't think the goaltender, Molnikov, had any chance at all on this one. So with 6:13 left in regulation time, just a clean shot. He got the pass out. And as it came to him, he just let fly with it. Here it comes. A little bit of traffic in front, but I think that the goaltender may have just blown that one. Good shot from the blue line, but Anderson, as it seemed to spread in front of Molnikov enough to allow him to see the shot, he put it into the top corner.
So Peter Anderson, on the blast from the point, cuts the Soviet lead to 4-2. Puck shot down the ice. Soviets come into forecheck, but Sweden into center ice to Bergqvist, trying to feed it through to Carlson, but that little block at the blue line put the play offside by the two charging Swedish players. And it'll be faced off at the Soviet blue line.
Another angle of that goal. We get the pass out from the corner. Here's Anderson just leaning into it. It didn't look like the goaltender may have been dumped on that play. As the shot was coming in, he seemed to be down very early. Just found the top corner.
Peter Anderson got the goal, but Kyle Anderson and Rundqvist the assist. Power play goal at 13:47 to cut the Soviets' lead to 4-2. Now the Soviets, Samak couldn't get it into the zone, and back and controlling is Janssen for Team Sweden. Got it to the line, shot back in. Now Carlson into center ice. Södergren beating Carlson, number 20. Anders Carlson to Södergren. Now to Bergqvist, put it in front. Knocked away by number 8, Himolev for the Soviets, but he couldn't get it out. And now it is cleared out, and the puck will come back into Team Sweden's end. The Soviets make a complete change in the fly. Back comes Janssen. Couldn't get into the zone, and here's Makarov with Krutov. 2-on-1 break. Makarov centered, and Anderson, or at least the goaltender Lindmark, used the stick to break up the 2-on-1 and block the pass. Good play by Peter Lindmark. Here's Makarov. Makarov flipping it through to Krutov. Off the side of the net on the short side. Sweden less than 5 minutes to play. Clear it to center. Kasatonov firing it back in, and he fired it right up into Team Sweden's bench. 4:43 left in the third period. This is the Labatt Canada Cup on CTV. Continues to battle. Now play is called as Gusarov and Telvin get into it and get their sticks up.
Well, the one thing you're not seeing out there is a zone defense at all. It's man-to-man. Everybody picked up and nobody getting any chance really to get free. And that's the way it's probably going to be through the final 3 minutes and 49 seconds of this game, at least in the Soviet end. We look at Gusarov heading for the bench.
Just a few minutes. 3:49 remaining. The Soviets 4, Sweden 2. Krutov, Bekov, Larionov, and Makarov have scored for the Soviets. Bergqvist and Peter Anderson, as you look at Sandelin, the Team Sweden coach. Carlson, Södergren, and Bergqvist, the forward line for Sweden now, but the Soviets break out. Here's Krutov. Now Larionov dropping it back. Kasatonov to Fetisov. Fetisov to Makarov. Gets around the defenseman. 2-on-1 break. Makarov shoots. Shot it wide this time. Makarov with a chance, and he faked the Krutov and then shot wide. And back comes Anders Carlson. Flips it in. Fetisov back to get it. Soviets can't clear it. Now on the second try they do as Larionov pokes it down the ice. Lars Carlson, number 6 for Sweden. To Janssen, intercepted by Bekov, in on goal. Makarov was open, but he was checked just as he tried to deflect it by Lars Carlson. Here's Krutov. And now it's Naslund falling, but number 6, Lars Carlson, picks it up to Naslund. 2:45 left in regulation time. Shot in by Sweden. Cleared by the Soviets. Bekov. Long right wing pass to number 15, Homatov. His centering pass to Kasatonov. Centered. Kamensky fanned under the edge of the crease. Stelnov shoots one. Lindmark. Stick save. Now Kasatonov. His drive off the side of the net. And Naslund has it for Sweden. Mats Naslund ahead to Kent Nielsen. Nielsen circling back. Into center ice to Rundqvist. He's checked. Here's Kamensky. He breaks in, and Eldebrink comes across to break it up. Now Bekov taken out of the play, and here's Rundqvist on a 3-on-2 Team Sweden break. Leaving it for Sundstrom. Shoot! Shot wide. Good chance for Sundstrom, and he blasted wide by about a foot. Sundstrom again to Anderson. Bouncing shot wide of the target. Homatov able to clear it. Knocked down by Telvin at center ice. 1:36 to play. Russia or the Soviets leading by 2. Telvin into Södergren. Broken up, and Semyonov cleared it away, and here's Peter Anderson. Knocked it into center. Fedotov back for the Soviets. Weaving in. Over to Priyakin. Priyakin fails to shoot. Now does. Lindmark a save. And he held on to it. 1:14 left. 4-2. The Soviets leading. And the Soviets have had a couple of good chances here in the last few minutes.
Well, it's because the Swedes are trying to think offense only. Of course, at this stage of the game and trailing by 2, there's a shot, that kind of a rising shot that got caught up in the padding of Lindmark. And now there's going to be a timeout here. Lindmark is going to go over to the bench. And I think the discussion will obviously be when to come out. Sweden gets control of the puck in their own zone. I think you'll see Lindmark heading straight to the bench. Reminder that, of course, we'll be back on the air tomorrow night with Canada versus Czechoslovakia, coming to you from the Forum, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And then it'll be the finals. Soviet Union apparently on its way to the best-of-3 final series.
That'll begin Friday night in Montreal. Game 2 back here in Hamilton on Sunday night, and we'll have it all for you here on CTV, plus Game 3 in Hamilton next Tuesday night, a week from tonight, if it's needed.
The key right here, and it'll be interesting to see who Sweden sends out to take the draw. They'll want their best face-off man to control this puck. They can control it enough to get and allow Lindmark to get to the bench for the extra man. They've got 1:14 to get 2 goals, so it's an uphill struggle as it has been throughout this game. Soviets scored the first goal of the game, and that's always important. They look at Igor Dmitriev and the head man, Viktor Tikhonov, behind the Soviet bench.
1:14 left. Face-off deep in Team Sweden's end of the rink. Soviets 4, Sweden 2. Semyonov on a face-off, battling with Carlson. Soviets win it. But now Thomas Janssen gets it back of the goal. And now number 18, Bergquist, trying to fire it out of there. Does to center ice to Södergren, off him over the boards, and we'll have a face-off in the center ice area now with 1:01 to play.
Håkan Södergren. Much a factor for the Swedes in this tournament. They have had some good performances from some people who had not done well in the National Hockey League. One of them, I think, has played very well throughout the tournament. The games that I've seen has been Anders Eldebrink, who really didn't do much for Vancouver or Quebec City and was allowed to go back to Sweden.
I like the look of that Albolin, who's heading for the Quebec Nordiques, too.
The two futures, of course, Albolin and Rupe. We're seeing a lot of them in the NHL this year.
Rupe hasn't played here in the latter part of this game. He may be injured. Puck cleared in. There goes Lindmark to the bench. 6 attackers. Kent Nielsen dropping it back. Shot from the point. Fired wide by Lars Carlson. 2 Swedes on the boards, including Eldebrink. Now Naslund flipping it in, but they're going to rule the puck had been hit by a high stick, and that stops play with 40 seconds left. Team Sweden with 6 attackers on the ice. The goaltender is on the bench.
Well, for Sweden, this has been a long, hard tournament. 41 days on the road, this team. Starting with the opening of training camp, coming over here, opening the tournament in Calgary. They've played in Regina. They've played in Sydney, Nova Scotia, here in Hamilton, in Montreal. And it's just been a grind. 10,000 kilometers in travel, more than any other team in the tournament. Through 4 different time zones. I'm sure that's had an effect. To me, Dan, through the last part of this game, they simply didn't seem to have any oomph to their game. They shot their bolt, I think, in the first period when they outplayed the Soviets and couldn't come up with a goal.
They're 40 seconds away from being eliminated. They trail 4-2. Gustafsson against Larionov on the faceoff. Won by Gustafsson to Carlson. To the other side. Shot right on by Eldebrink, and a glove save by Milnikov. Sweden won the faceoff in textbook fashion. Got it to the left point man, and Milnikov had to make a good save.
Well, the problem there is that on this play, they moved it very well, except one thing. When it got over there, there was not the quickest shot. It allowed Milnikov to get over there. He teed it up and then shot it. Milnikov was able to move over and make the save. So now the Soviets are going to call a timeout and discuss the situation, what they want to do with the puck inside their own zone. 36 seconds left.
This ESPN Classic program is brought to you by Labatt Blue, imported from Canada. Look up, see blue.
Hi. I hope you don't mind I brought a friend.
No, of course not.
He's wearing the Met thing right now, but we know he's a Yankee fan. So
just what Steve was talking about.
Like 3/4 Yanks, quarter Met. Absolutely. All right.
Turnabout is fair play. And Robin Ventura.
Mike, I know at the end of this ball game when the ball hit Jay Payton and they had me and you talked about, saw the replay, and you were upset about it. You thought that ball was almost behind him if he didn't get out of the way. But both teams reacted very well. It could have been a very ugly incident.
It's very frustrating. But
and you've been on the business end of that. You've seen a Roger Clemens fastball up close and personal.
I mean, like I said, you know, when we're not babies and we know this is part of the game, but it just, God, when you're going around the head like that, it's dangerous. And you know what? We'll believe it got away from him right now, but right now, because we don't want to, you know, ruin our celebration, but it is unfortunate.
Sing the song.
No, I'm not going to sing it.
Come on.
No, just to bring the kiddies, bring the wife part.
All right, meet the Mets, come on down and meet the Mets.
Okay, now that you've humiliated yourself on national TV after taking care of the rest of us, no, seriously, let me ask you about that. We were talking about this just before. You have been there.
Seriously, you're just a little too dry.
Yeah, all right.
Give me some of that to drink.
Just soaking it up.
He's already filled out the expense form for the suit, for the dry cleaning, by the way. Huh?
Wow, that was a good look. And by the way, for Lyons, that does count as a shower, his first one since leaving the Fox Network Center last week.
I think your dancing is even better than Al Leiter's.
Okay, we don't have to go back there. You know, I'm going to start bringing out the bar mitzvah tapes.
No, I don't want to
be careful.
Please, we must move on.
Yeesh.
Here's what else is on tap. Dikembe Mutombo was thought to have the flu. Now the team knows it's a lot more serious, and we'll tell you just how serious in a moment.
Hey, you don't recognize this guy or even his helmet? All eyes will be on R.J. Bowers this weekend. Bill Maas explains why.
And we have Log Rolling Bears on the way.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is Log Rolling Bears. You need another reason to stay? Come on.
Miraculous goaltending!
He is the best in the business.
Start your day with the Regional Sports Report for news dedicated to your home teams, followed by the National Sports Report. Weekday mornings on Fox Sports Net.
And knocked out of there by Mutombo.
Rejected by Mutombo, who shakes his finger at the bench.
The 103-degree fever was nothing to worry about, nothing that a little IV couldn't fix. That's what Dikembe Mutombo thought. The Hawks center checked into the hospital expecting to join his team when his fever broke. Guess again, Mutombo has a mild case of malaria. It's not a life-threatening or career-threatening situation. Doctors say it is more like a bad case of the flu. He'll end up missing about 2 weeks. Mutombo is believed to have contracted the disease during a recent visit to his homeland in Africa. Doctors believe he was bitten by a mosquito last month while visiting the Congo.
Hi there. Grant Hill isn't 100% yet, but his surgically repaired ankle is feeling a lot better. Here's his synopsis. I didn't take another baby step in practice. I took an adult step. I'm not going to play 48 minutes right away, more like 8. But hey, I'm ready. Now, Grant Hill's not a doctor, and he didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But he's just happy to finally throw on his Orlando duds for the first time, in doing so against the New Jersey Nets. And, hey, uniform fits. It's a good start. What about the rookie out of Florida, Mike Miller? Litois? He had 16, but scary moment for the Nets.
To Perry for 3.
Check out Keith Van Horn underneath, battling Bo Outlaw for a board. And Van Horn, who has been injury-plagued throughout his career.
Not good.
Broken left fibula.
Not good.
If there is a silver lining, he's out only 4 to 6 weeks, which means he should miss about the first month of the regular season. Although this is fairly unimportant, the Magic do win this one 99-94. John Amici, a big night with 24 points. Tracy McGrady with 12. Kenyon Martin, the top pick overall in the draft, who knows something about broken legs, did have 7 boards for the Nets.
Not that the Rams actually need a kicker. They have that two-point conversion thing down. But just in case, St. Louis signed Pete Stoyanovich as a temporary replacement for the injured Jeff Wilkins. Stojanovich's first game with the Super Bowl champs will be Sunday on the road against the Chiefs. Yes, the Chiefs, who released him just last week. Elsewhere, a reunion is canceled by injury. Vikings Bryce Bob hurt his right leg pop when he took a block that allowed Bears rookie Des White to escape for a 25-yard touchdown. He'll miss at least 6 weeks, and the game against his old team, the Bills, on Sunday. No reunion there. That is not the case for Jermaine Crowell. Foot surgery will keep the Lions receiver off the job 5 to 8 weeks. Detroit's leader in pass receptions broke the 5th metatarsal on his left foot in practice Friday. He had a screw inserted into the foot on Monday. Jimmy Smith, by the way, had an MRI today. So far, the Jags will not say yet if it's anything more than a bruised knee. Terrell Davis says his ankle is almost 100%. He'll practice tomorrow, but really, why push it? The Broncos have the Bengals, and then they have a bye week coming up. And Wesley Walls is still questionable for Sunday's game with the Niners.
This Fox Scope segment is brought to you by Acura.
Bill Maas here to talk not about the NFL, although he knows a whole lot about that because you do games every week, it seems like the Giants. You're here to talk college football. And what in the name of Gordy Lockbaum and Brian Shea are we talking about small college ball
exactly.
for? Help me out
here. You know, that's where you find some of these young guys. You always hear about everything that's going on in the NCAA as far as Division I football, but there's a great story out there. R.J. Bowers, this is an amazing guy, a Division III kid, and he just needs 149 yards to move to the top of the NCAA career rushing list. That's all. But that's not all. He's already #1 on the touchdown list with 84. He has 32 straight 100-yard games. I caught up with Bowers on Football Today and asked him what he thought about breaking the rushing record.
Yeah, several times. Earlier this year, that's pretty much all I've thought about, and, now it's about to become reality.
You broke Archie Griffin's record with 32 consecutive games of 100 yards or more. You broke Travis Prentice's touchdown record. These are some pretty big names you're just pushing right out of the record book.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Prentice now, he's with Cleveland, and Archie Griffin for sure. I mean, that's somebody that, I remember I didn't watch, but I heard a lot about, and, it's awesome to be mentioned in the same sentence with those guys.
I know that you played some outfield in the Astros minor league system. What happened? Did you decide you wanted to go get an education, or you just couldn't hit the curveball? What happened with baseball?
Well, kind of a combination of both. I had a little problem with the curveball, but
so did I.
Yeah, no, but it was about time. At 23 years old, I decided, it was either now or never to come back and get my college degree. And I felt at that time I was still in good enough shape to come back and play a little bit of football. And this is where I ended up.
Do you lie about your age to them? Did they call you Pops?
No, it's funny. Early on, when I was 23, I got more of that than I do now at 26. I think I've kind of gained the respect, and they pretty much have been quiet the last 2-3 years.
RJ, obviously you're tearing things up. How about the scouts? What's your feedback? What have you been hearing?
Well, I mean, everything's been positive. We've had pretty much everybody in, with the exception of maybe 4 or 5 teams, and there's been several teams that have been back 3 and 4 times. So, everything that I've gotten back has been positive, and they can't tell me for sure, but they say there's a very good shot that I'll be in a camp next year.
Really a great, just heartwarming story about a kid who's 23 years old in minor league baseball and says, what the heck, you know what, it's not working out here. I'm going to go back and get my education and still in pretty good shape and give the football thing a shot. Here he's going to end up breaking the rushing records, and, it's something good to come out of this. I hope it does.
What's your opinion, though? If you were an NFL scout, would you give him a serious look? You think you're going to see him next year on Sundays?
I'll tell you this. If I'm an NFL scout, I look everywhere. I look on assembly lines. I look at YMCAs. I look at interscholastic intramurals. I look at anything to try to find another Kurt Warner. What the heck? You've seen one like that slip through the cracks. Let's not let another guy like him go.
Check the Fox Rec League, by the way. There's some nice talent out there.
No, I wouldn't.
No?
No. Let's segue to some emails. I've seen the Rec League. NFL stuff, Bill. How far can the Ravens go, given they have not scored a touchdown in 3 straight games? Danny wants to know.
Yeah, as far as their defense takes them, and I mean that because it's really going to come down to Tony Banks, and that's been Brian Billick's whole thing ever since he got down there. He knew what he got when he got Tony Banks, and he knew he had to be there and make this guy perform consistently week in and week out. That's his biggest challenge to take this team to the upper echelon.
It's either Tony Banks or Trent Dilfer.
All right, we move on.
It's still Tony Banks.
Anyway.
Tony Banks the winner.
NFL quarterbacks remember Dexter Manley as one of the most vicious sacklers of all time. The rest of us probably remember him more for the substance abuse problems that destroyed his career. Tomorrow you can catch up with Manley. Where are they now? It's Wednesday's edition of Football Today.
Drugs took me to a place where I never thought I would go. I traded in my values and my dignity. More importantly, it's my dignity. And that's what I lost.
That's the kind of stuff that happens on Bill Maas's show. Also tomorrow, they'll look at how Randy Moss contributes when he's not embarrassing cornerbacks, what the Ravens might do to revive Tony Banks' confidence, by the way, and why the Raiders are alone atop the AFC West. That's all on Football Today, which you can find every weekday at 6 p.m. on the net.
Up next, Iron Mike is off the Zoloft, so how's he feeling as he preps for the Galata bout? It's Tyson Unplugged coming up. And Bobby Labonte may be in the driver's seat for the points title, but his brother Terry has something better. Time to chat with our Genie Zelasco. That's coming up.
This Fox Scope segment was brought to you by Acura.
Try this. Call up your auto insurance company and ask them to give you a quote.
And then ask them to give you the prices of their 3 major competitors also.
See what they say.
Progressive wants you to know that for the same person, rates can really vary from company to company.
A 6-month policy can vary an average of $480 for the same coverage.
If you're not shopping around, you can be losing a lot of money.
Call us anytime. We're always open.
We'll give you our price, and if you'd like, the rates from up to 3 other leading companies.
You know, just so you know you're getting the best deal.
I love having an insurance company shop for me.
I can go online 24 hours a day and compare rates. We have these things called IRVs, immediate response vehicles.
It's like a mini claims office right there in the car.
So call us right now at 1-888-810-3126.
If we can't save you money on auto insurance, we'll tell you who can.
Progressive. Not what you'd expect from an insurance company.
Hockey on one hand, basketball on the other. Hi, I'm Steve Psycho Lyons with an incredible prize for one lucky fan. Burger King and Fox Sports Net are giving away the ultimate sports weekend. You can win tickets to see your hometown hoops or hockey team play a game at home and win a trip to see them play on the road. Or you and 9 of your new best friends could be sitting pretty at the luxury suite of a home game. Hey, nice play. Visit a participating Burger King restaurant.
This is your car. This is your car after an accident. Now, we could tell you that Ted's Auto Body Shop uses Diamond paint with a lifetime guarantee. We could tell you that all frame adjustments are made with the precision of the Chief Laser. We could tell you that all our technicians are ICAR certified, that we do windshield replacements, and that we work with all insurance companies, because it's all true. But when you've been in an accident, all you want is for your car to be just right. So whether it's a fender bender or a major collision, it's Ted's Auto Body Shop, just the way you want it, guaranteed.
A bit of magic, oh, you gotta see it. So like the unexpected, perfectly perfected.
High definition television, made possible by Panasonic.
Oh, just a bit of magic.
Hi, I'm David Orick. How'd you like to get this $30 car back absolutely free? Call this number now and try my amazingly light, incredibly powerful 8-pound Orick XL. Call 1-888-383-4000.
Thanks to Mike Tyson and Andrew Galata. Friday's bout in Auburn Hills, Michigan could be an anatomical nightmare. You got one guy who likes to bite ears, another who hits below the belt. Imagine if you mesh the two into one. When it comes to the actual fight, Tyson says size doesn't matter.
How big is he? What's his measurements?
I don't know.
6'5", to me, the little boy. To me, he's very small. 6'5", 240, but to me, he's very, very small. I'm not Muhammad Ali. I'm not capable of predicting rounds, and I'm not clairvoyant. But listen, he's over there laughing. We're up here laughing. Everybody laughing. This is serious, though. He won't be laughing Friday. That's right. This is very serious. This is very, very serious.
Like Jeannie's laughing too. This is serious.
Whatever.
This is serious stuff. Here's your tail of the tape. Galata a little heavier, a lot taller, so I have to really get low to hit his favorite target. Now, Galata was ahead on points in 3 of his losses before getting DQ'd for low blows. So what has happened to boxing's appeal? We'll find out Thursday when we assemble our panel. Scheduled to appear, Bert Sugar, who has covered the sport for decades now, promoter Bob Arum, and light heavyweight champion Roy Jones Jr. Jeannie?
Bruce Matthews is keeping the drive alive with 203 consecutive starts and counting. Impressive work from the Tennessee Titan, but certainly not Cal Ripken-esque. Terry Labonte gave it a go, but when he added a concussion to his already broken leg, even Terry knew it was really time to wave the white flag. Labonte's consecutive race streak ended at 6:55 this past August. But that was then. This is now. His brother Bobby may be racing for a title, but Terry has more on the line, like pride.
I feel fine, and we've been back there for a while, but Sunday was a good run for us. It was pretty disappointing earlier in the year when I had to sit out a couple of races, and, it kind of set our team back a little bit, I felt like. So we really want to finish the year on a high note and have some more good runs before the season's over. We'd love to try to win a race, and, hopefully we can come close in one of these 4 races left and kind of build some momentum going in next year.
All right, let's talk about your brother, Bobby. He has really had a great season, looks to be on his way to his first championship, if he can hold off Dale Earnhardt. Is there anything that you learned this late in the season when you won it in '96 that you've passed along to Bobby?
Well, not really. He hadn't asked for any advice, and I haven't given him any. They know what they're doing. They've got a great team. They came close to winning the championship a year ago. But I think they've got some good tracks coming up. It's not over by any means, but they've got to just keep doing the same things they've been doing.
All right, so the first championship possibly for your brother, but if you look at Dale Earnhardt, how big would this be for the sport itself if he were to pick up his 8th?
Well, it would depend. If you're a Dale Earnhardt fan, you'd think it'd be real big, and if you're a Richard Petty fan, you wouldn't like it too much. He's still in the hunt there. He's not too far back, and the guy's a great competitor, a tough competitor, and he's going to be a contender next year, too. So, I don't know. I'm pulling for Bobby. He's done a good job, and it'd be pretty neat to see him win it. But if it wasn't Bobby racing Dale, I'd probably be pulling for Dale to see him win it. But I hope Bobby can hang on there.
We appreciate that honesty, and we'll speak positively here for a moment. If Bobby does win the championship, it'll be the first time that a set of brothers has each won a Winston Cup championship. How much does that mean to both of you?
Well, I think it means a lot to us, and especially to be able to compete at this level, and both of us, if he's able to win this championship, it would mean an awful lot. I'd really be especially happy for our parents. They've been big supporters of both of ours, and it'll be pretty neat for them to be able to sit back and say, hey, both their sons won a championship. But, it's still a long way from being over there, and we still got 4 races to go. And, I kind of, I did give him a little bit of advice. I told him, I said, this is kind of like getting down to the playoffs here, and you've worked all year to get here, and now they've got to go out and they've got to race that 3-car every week. They got a good team, and I think they're gonna do a good job there.
All right, that was a nugget of advice that was passed along. I'm sure he appreciates that, and we'll keep the vow of silence. We'll take one race at a time. Terry, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Terry is out of the top 10 right now, but it's still been a good year for the Bonnie family. Brother Bobby leading the pack by 210 points, which is 4 races to go. And he, of course, trying for his first ever Winston Cup championship. Dale Earnhardt looking for number 8. And very interesting here because Terry really did not want to jinx this. There are still 4 races. He kept saying that. I felt like I was talking to a football coach. We're taking it one game at a time, one race at a time. Didn't want to look too far ahead.
When you've got Dale Earnhardt in your rearview mirror, you kind of have to look at it this way. And Earnhardt's amazing. 49 years old and still competing at this level in this sport.
And winning this past weekend at Talladega, everyone's looking over their shoulder now.
Exactly. Guy can get it done. Hey, still ahead, don't forget, you've got a Your Call coming up. Who's going to win the World Series? Yankees, Mets, Mariners. Those are your 3 choices. Log on, vote.
Sinamaqabantshintsha kamva yaseBloemfontein kwi-wrestling kodwa makhe siqale eMaritzburg Classic. Ifikile le mini inkulu madoda bekade kuthethwa ngayo khangela iminyaka le namkelekile manene nani manenekazi ifikile mina benilindele imina enkulu kakhulu namhlanje kuzaqhawuka kunobatha.
Hi everyone, welcome inside the Fox Network Center alongside Chris Rose. I'm Jeannie Zelasco, and you're watching the National Sports Report.
No, we don't have a flux capacitor on the set, but we are going back to the future. Quick recap of our top stories, and we start on the ice. St. Patty tied with Terry Sawchuk, most wins all time, 447. Going in and play the winless Caps. And the Avs down 3-2 in the third, but Joe Sakic beating Ole the goalie for his first of the year. We are tied at 3 and headed to OT, where Raymond Bourque, who came over in that big trade from Buffalo with a little one-timer on the power play. And St. Patty, are you happy? Yippee! Yahoo! All right! 448 career wins as his wife, Michelle, that's with one L in her name, watches Patrick Waugh cut down the net. Passes Terry Sawchuk, most wins ever. Not too bad for a guy who's only 35 years old.
Dikembe Mutombo has a mild case of malaria and is expected to be out of action for a couple of weeks. Now, that's the bad news. The good is that it is not a life or career-threatening situation. It's more like a bad case of the flu. Mutombo is believed to have contracted the disease during a recent visit to his homeland in Africa. Doctors think he was bitten by a mosquito last month while visiting the Congo. The Hawks open their regular season October 31st against the Hornets.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it is, have surgery. That's what the Lions' leading receiver did today. Jermaine Crowell done 5 to 8 weeks after having a screw inserted into his broken left foot. The injury happened during a non-contact drill last Friday at practice. A fractured right leg will keep Viking sack specialist Bryce Popp on the sidelines for 6 to 8 weeks. The 11-year vet was injured during Sunday's win in Chicago. A surgery is not on the agenda. Gabe Northern and Roy Barker will take Pop's spot in the rotation. Also, Jacksonville's lost 4 straight, and perhaps receiver Jimmy Smith. He had an MRI on his bruised knee on Tuesday, but the Jags are awaiting results. Terrell Davis hopes to practice tomorrow. He says his left foot and ankle are close to 100%. Davis hasn't played since October 1st. And Wesley Walls, questionable for Sunday's game with San Francisco. He has bruised ribs. Pete Stoyanovich has found temporary work. He inked a one-year prorated contract with St. Louis, while kicker Jeff Wilkins recovers from a quad injury. He's expected to be out 1 to 3 weeks. Stoya's first game will be where his last one was, in Kansas City. He was released by the Chiefs last week after 4+ seasons out there.
Coming back with the big neener, because now I'm playing for the defending champs, and more than likely, if everything continues as it is, I'll end up back at the bowl, so forget about you.
1 to 3 weeks, though. That's all the employment he's going to get.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Coming up at the end of the show, the highlights of the Mets playoff chase and celebration. That is coming up, of course, in our Final Cut.
Someone's got to go over and find out the Bucs game plan.
Lay it on the line, do what we work for all week long.
Hey, why am I always the guy who has...
Let's go. It's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader this week on your local Fox station. Top 10 teams square off on Fox Sports Net. Jonathan Beasley looks to put Kansas State back on track towards the Big 12 title against Texas Tech. Plus, Eugene will be rocking when Arizona's Desert Swarm invades Oregon to battle the high-flying Ducks. It all kicks off with the pregame show Saturday on Fox Sports Net.
Miraculous goaltending! He is the best in the business.
Gil Heredia, cancel the movers. The A's just picked up your $3.3 million option for next season. Heredia's 34. He won a career-high 15 games last season and helped the A's win their first division title since 1992.
Well, many of you out there had a healthy buzz for your entire college career, so you're already aware of this equation. Buzz equals education. And those of you who don't believe it, just listen to this week's edition of The Buzz and learn.
The buzz in the NFL is about Tennessee. The Titans have asserted themselves as the early favorite in the AFC on the legs of Eddie George, the arm of Steve McNair, and the paranoia of Coach Jeff Fisher. Tennessee moved Saturday's walkthrough indoors to prevent any Jacksonville spying eyes from getting a glimpse of the game plan. In Monday night's game, defensive coordinator Greg Williams and defensive backs coach Jerry Gray both relayed signals from the sidelines during the game to conceal the Titans' true defensive alignment. Who said paranoia will destroy you? Tennessee won the game 27-13.
More buzz around the NFL has to do with the sinking San Diego Chargers team that has troubles beyond an 0-7 record. With the club off to its worst start since 1975, people will be looking for scapegoats, and player personnel director Billy Devaney, brought in by Bobby Beathard 10 years ago, could be the first. If he's fired, Coach Mike Riley could be in trouble. He and Devaney are close, with Riley coming to his defense when the club considered canning Devaney 3 weeks ago.
The buzz in college football is the heat is on Missouri coach Larry Smith after the veteran coach committed 2 cardinal sins in his profession. Not only did Missouri lose its homecoming game last week, the Tigers lost to arch-rival Kansas 38-17. Smith is promising changes this week, including more physical practices. Ultimately, the biggest change may start at the top. Also, current USC coach Paul Hackett started the season with wins over Penn State and Colorado, teams that are expected to be pretty good this season, but are performing below par. Hackett is now on the same slippery slope. Hackett has 2 years left on his contract, but with both Oregon schools, Washington and UCLA showing improvement, can the Trojans afford to be patient?
Naturally, the buzz in the NBA once again centers around Heat center Alonzo Mourning. The buzz? That things are about to get a lot tougher for the remaining Heat players, who can expect some of those legendary long practice sessions from Heat coach Pat Riley. See, Riley says his players aren't in the kind of shape they should be to make up for Mourning's absence. Dale Ellis, who's 40 years old, actually called Riley's camp a breeze.
The buzz in hockey this week is that talk is no longer cheap. In Toronto, the talk is of a nasty fight between Players Association President Bob Goodenow and super agent Mike Barnett, who represent Wayne Gretzky and other high-profile clients. The issue is over whether or not Barnett is about to take the job as GM of the Phoenix Coyote. The Players Association feels that's a conflict of interest, especially for the players still represented by Barnett in contract talks.
Well, for the buzz and all the major sports, log on to foxsports.com. Click on the buzz, believe it or not. You get the latest on Juan Gonzalez's plans, the Heat's waning fire, paranoia in Nashville, and so much more.
Everything has to end in a Z now, doesn't it? Coming up, another chance for you to make your call. Are the Yankees going to win their 26th World Series? Log on and vote. And here's one thing the Yankees cannot win: the Animal Olympics.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Meet Mr. Andrew Galata, the pride of Poland. 6'4", 244 pounds. 36-4-0, 29 by knockout. Favorite color? Black and blue. When Andrew Galata meets up with Mike Tyson, they won't be dancing the polka. Tyson, Galata. Check your local listings live on pay-per-view.
Briefcase. Need new tires? Our 70,000-mile Futuras are 4 for $169. Pep Boys, one more reason cars like us, people love us.
Hey, did you get them brakes at Pep Boys?
Yeah, I did.
I appreciate it.
Now get up to $40 back on premium Rebestos brake service. Pep Boys, one more reason cars like us, people love us.
Can something like a machine give you the power to work on your own terms? A machine that actually makes you feel free. Is there such a machine? A freedom machine? What do you think?
The Protégé series featuring the Intel Pentium 3 processor. To buy direct now, visit Toshiba.com. Choose freedom. Choose Toshiba.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up. This new mobile internet, they say it's going to change my life. Well, but I like my life.
Dave, it's going to change some things you don't like. No wires, no waiting. The internet services you want, wherever you are.
So you won't change the good things?
You'll still have those.
Anchovies on pizza?
Still be there.
Ice hockey?
Absolutely.
Feel of leather on naked skin?
If that's important to you, Dave.
This Friday,
Wish for something.
Brendan Fraser's going from dull to dashing, from Joker to Jock. There's only one problem.
What's your next wish?
Bedazzled, rated PG-13.
Red Wings skating without their captain, Stevie Y, for the next 6 to 8. And Manny Legacy, the backup, getting a start against the Blues. Second period, we're scoreless with Sergei Fedorov. Is Anna watching this highlight? He scores his third of the year, and the Wings up 1-0. Same period. Brent Gilchrist finding Martin Lapointe. Right about there. His first of the year. Legacy, 30 saves and pitching the 2-1 win.
Canadiens captain Saku Koivu on ice. I mean, literally, he's getting his knee repaired. Dominic Hasek on ice as well, getting the net all taken care of. It's the Sabres, it's the Canadiens, and it's Stu Barnes. Look at the great move in the third. The Sabres shorthanded, tying the score at 3 apiece. And then it gets really exciting. Third period, we've got less than a minute left. Canadiens power play. Patrice Brisebois getting the shot in traffic, getting it past Dominic Hasek. Canadiens win 4-3.
Devils took all 4 meetings with the Thrashers last year. It's tied at 1 in the second, and Patrick Elias in on Damian Rhodes, taking the roads less traveled, and that made all the difference. Devils up 2-1. Same score later in the second. Donald Audette to Ray Ferraro. And everybody loves Raymond except for Martin Brodeur, who can't come up with a save. And New Jersey, despite outshooting Atlanta 37-17, has to settle for a 3-3 tie. John LeClaire is having a tough time adjusting to life without Eric Lindros. Problem solved. LeClaire will be off the ice indefinitely. The Flyers' all-star winger will have surgery on his ailing back. He decided that today after other treatments simply didn't work. LeClaire is a 3-time 50-goal scorer. He'll be a free agent come next July.
Well, how is this for a resume? Corporal injury to a spouse, making terrorist threats, conspiring to dissuade a witness, false imprisonment, vandalism, and illegal possession of a firearm. Granted, only 4 of those are felony charges, and Lawrence Phillips was never convicted of any of them. And that's the key, says the XFL. Remember, the XFL promised not to hire any convicted felons. So on the strength of Lawrence Phillips' other resume as a quality back, he's reportedly landed a job with the Las Vegas franchise, appropriately named the Las Vegas Outlaws.
Is that true?
That's true. I wasn't kidding.
Well, normally a convicted felon finding work in a pro sports league would qualify for Are You Kidding? But anytime you can find bears riding Schwinns, then you got to make the switch to Shanghai, China for the National Animal Sports Games. It's like the old Superstars competition. Check this out. Smokey the Bear finishing second to Greg Pruitt, I think. It's a good look. Then you have the always popular monkey climb. Off! Yeah. Let's go, boys. Come on. Hup. And for the uppity folks, you have the poodle leap. Beware the steamy divot over there. Then how about the cheetah who goes for a little post-jump snack? Come on now. Elephant soccer and then elephant tug-of-war. Is that Babar with 2 B's? I thought you meant next to one another. You know, this is nice because it's on a 24-hour time delay. Yes. So, you know, we knew the results yesterday with these little animal Olympics. I thought it was very nice.
Sure, but there's late word out of China tonight that the German representative, the Rottweiler, might have been all roided out during that event, so we'll have to take away his medal.
Give him a little Dixie cup. Got to go into the bathroom, do your little work. Still ahead, Kobe Bryant, the athlete, is doing fine, but Kobe Bryant, the international businessman, having just a few problems. And the Nets have had no problems so far in the playoffs. Will that trend continue in the World Series? Hey, it's your call.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Rodriguez. Here's what we're working on tonight for your 11 p.m. Rocky Mountain Regional Sports Report. We're at the scene with complete coverage of Patrick Roy's shot at breaking Terry Sawchuk's record. Plus, we'll have the playing status of Broncos running back Terrell Davis. So for 30 minutes of nightly sports news, 100% dedicated to Rocky Mountain home teams, stay tuned for your 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report.
Side impact airbags on all our new cars. We didn't have to make those airbags the kind that are designed to help protect your head, just like the ones that come in Mercedes and Volvo. We didn't have to. That said,
impact.
We did.
South to south pit, stroke, check, check.
You think you're on the right track. You save $10 on a $10,000 stock trade, but then you lose $100 because of lousy execution. There are no shortcuts to financial success. Anyone can offer cheap trades. Very few online brokers can offer the world's best financial thinking. Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected.
Look! Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up. Craving more taste, more variety? All you need is 99 cents. Introducing the new 99-cent BK Cravers menu, including our Bullseye Barbecue Deluxe, Chicken Tender Sandwich, and tasty mozzarella sticks. Just 99 cents every day.
Someone's got to go over and find out the Bucs game plan.
Lay it on the line, do what we work for all week long.
Hey, why am I always the guy who
It's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader this week on your local Fox station.
Skyhook by Kobe. Alive under the shack. Oh, Kobe Bryant. Blocked by O'Neal. Slam dunk. Wow. Now we're getting into it.
Selling CDs is more difficult than it looks. Planning a wedding can take longer than you think. Being an owner is not all it's cracked up to be. Life lessons young Kobe learned this offseason. The latter is the reason 10 months after investing more than $1 million in an Italian hoops team, Kobe Bryant is planning on selling. In a partnership, you have to share the same kind of visions as Kobe. That's one of the problems. Sounds familiar, huh? His partnership with Shaq took a while to get on track. It is there now. And we have a Fox watch on the Lakers and Suns, working it as we speak. And the big guy, the big daddy, $88.5 million. That's why he gets the big bucks. Makes it look so easy. It's still early. We'll keep you posted.
Allen Iverson's rap album may or may not have softer lyrics when it comes out early next year, but just in case you missed out on our little chit-chat on this network about Iverson's freedom of speech, there's much, much more. Joining Jim Rome on tonight's Last Word, rapper Luther Campbell and C. Dolores Tucker, last week's Spelling Bee champion.
Concerning Allen Iverson's CD, is he merely expressing himself as an artist, or is he preaching hate?
Well, not only is he, his album reflects kill the bitch and effing, those terms that we find very offensive, also nigger. Let me just say this, there is a standard, a double standard in the entertainment industry.
What John Rocker did in an interview, he was expressing his feelings in an interview. What Allen Iverson did on a record, Allen Iverson was explaining where he came from and what he experienced as a man in life.
Hope the audio guy's ready to work that little beep at 11:30 tonight.
Oh, you know.
You're going to, well, you know what? You never know. With C. Dolores Tucker and Luther Campbell. Also a special appearance from Colts running back Edgerrin James, and I'm not kidding on that one. You're going to stick around.
Well, even Bobby Knight himself came out and said Kent Harvey was not to blame for his firing. But apparently that wasn't enough to keep the Indiana freshman from feeling threatened in Bloomington. So the 19-year-old who set off a firestorm with the words, "What's up, Knight?" has withdrawn from Indiana University. Now, Harvey is a triplet, and his brothers, Kyle and Kevin, you know, they, of course, bear a strong resemblance to him, so they have also withdrawn from the school. Still ahead, a must-see for Mets fans as we revisit their road to the 2000 National League pennant. That's coming at you in our Final Cut.
Power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor.
We just really enjoy having a big family.
Oh, kids love being outdoors in the fall.
It's a fun time of year.
My daddy. You want carpet?
Plants a fall garden, get in there and get our hands all dirty. Which way? Left?
I think it's this way.
We definitely shop as a family.
And the kids enjoy it too, just for the variety of things they can do while they're there.
You make a lovely hat.
Walmart has everything we're looking for. Which one you want? I mean, the people are great, the prices are great.
Get everything you need for Halloween right here at Walmart.
I just like being able to get underwear and spark plugs at the same store. You know, that's a great thing for me.
Butterfield Express, Pocatello's only full-line authorized Polaris dealer, wants to welcome you home. Mother Nature has been calling, and now it's time to go. Butterfield Express will make sure you get there, because Polaris is what they sell. They do one thing and do it the best. Recognized for best of the best. In service by Polaris. Along with the best sleds, Butterfield Express also offers a huge selection of clothing and accessories. Plus, Mike can set up your sled to run over the competition. Mother Nature is calling, and Polaris is the way out. Polaris from Butterfield Express in Chubbuck. We get you moving.
This is your last chance to save on a 2000 Chrysler Concorde or a 2000 Dodge Intrepid at Ted's in Pocatello. And with factory rebates up to $4,000, we mean save. Drive a new 2000 Chrysler Concorde and save up to $4,000. Want a Dodge Intrepid? Apply your $4,000 lease rebate and drive this 2000 midsize sedan for only $272 a month on a short 39-month lease. With more than 15 Intrepids and Concordes to choose from and the best deals of the year, now is the time to save at Ted's.
Start your day with the Regional Sports Report for news dedicated to your home teams, followed by the National Sports Report. Weekday mornings on Fox Sports Net.
Time now for the results of your call. It is your call. Thanks for calling. Who will win the World Series? Okay, well, you're making it easy here. You know one of the participants, but thanks for participating nonetheless. The Mets, 45.7%.
How about some comments for you? Eric in Garden Grove says the Yankees will be the true world champs. The Mets will be the world chumps. Drew in Sherman Oaks, A-Rod and Company will not only dispose of one New York eyesore, but they will make the Big Apple sweet.
Wow, bold comments. Let's see if Kevin Kennedy has any bold comments to share as well. Your email
Throw
questions.
It at me, Jeannie.
All right, hang on. Buckle up. Stanley wants to know,
I could catch it. I couldn't hit it very well.
Has the Mets' youthful outfield been the difference for them?
No doubt about it. Starting with Timo Perez. The guy's been phenomenal, getting on base, as we said at the top of the show, playing great outfield defense. Jay Payton's had a couple of big hits in this series, and Agbayani's been great also. Absolutely.
Do you think Dave Veers of the Cardinals intentionally threw at Jay Payton in the Mets? Steve wants to know.
No, I don't at all. Dave Veers played for me many years ago. I know his personality. I know what he's about. He was throwing splits away, trying to throw the two-seamer up and in. In that situation, there was no way he tried to hit him intentionally. I think Payton reacted the way I probably would have, too.
Well, he's been injured all his career,
And then realized, hey, you know what? I know what happened. Both clubs handled it well.
Yeah, he admitted it was an emotional stance, certainly.
All right, Regional Sports Report coming up for many of you. Sit tight.
And for all of you right now, our final cut. Celebration of the Mets' return to the Fall Classic.
National Sports Report presents Final Cut.
Gets into that ball into left center field, might lead. Dunston at the wall, leaps and it's gone. Home run seal. That's not borderline. That's like Nuke LaLoosh and Bull Durham. This is borderline ridiculous. Drew pops it up. Back behind the plate, Piazza. Near the dugout. What a catch. For St. Louis on 12 hits. Drew rips a base hit into right field on a high delivery. Clark will come to the plate. Perez comes up firing. Great throw. Got it. Base is empty and Piazza gets into one to left. That's off the plate. Ventura coming to get it. Big-handed. Pick up and throw. 2 out. What a play by Robin Ventura. Hampton with a count of 3-1. For the first time since 1986, the Mets are going to the World Series.
The views expressed in this program are those of its host and guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of Fox Sports Net and its affiliates.
As the fallout over Allen Iverson's new CD continues, the question is, did he act irresponsibly, or does he have a right to express himself as an artist? Tonight, on The Last Word, is Allen Iverson merely rapping about what he has seen and what he knows, or is he preaching hatred and violence? As a superstar athlete, is he responsible to himself or the team he plays for and the people who look up to him? We'll break it all down with Dr. C. Dolores Tucker of the Martin Luther King Jr. Foundation for Nonviolence and Luther Luke Campbell of Two Live Crew, also known as Luke Skywalker, who was a pioneer in rap a decade ago. That is next. A very good evening to you. Welcome to The Last Word in Los Angeles. I am Jim Rome. Tonight's topic, the ongoing controversy over Allen Iverson's CD. We will get to that in just one moment. First up, though, a couple of quick takes, starting with some baseball. Well, the Mets are in the World Series, and management continues to say that it will not let managerial free agent Bobby Valentine go anyplace else. Well, how very big are the Mets? After the way they have done this guy, why would he even want to stay? V reportedly was furious recently upon hearing that the team might be interested in Frisco manager Dusty Baker, the same Dusty Baker who Valentine totally outmanaged in the division series. Valentine's Mets rolled Baker's Giants, yet the team might be willing to give Baker the 3-year deal that it will not give to Bobby Valentine. Now, what is that? Exactly what does Valentine have to do to get an extension out of the Mets? He has them in the World Series this year. He led them to the NLCS last year. He turned Baker inside out in the division series, and he outclassed the genius, Tony La Russa, in the NLCS. What? Does he have to beat Joe Torre in the World Series to prove that he can manage? That Valentine is even in this position is a joke. He should have been given a new deal at the end of last season. Hey, V, exactly how much abuse are you going to take? Get your ring and then jam ownership by leaving. Why would you even want to stay? They obviously don't appreciate you now, and they never will. Turning now to the NFL. This just in. The Cincinnati Bengals are a bad football team. For the first time in their 33 years of existence, they have been shut out 3 times in a season, and they were able to pull that off in just 6 games. Linebacker Takeo Spikes said, and I quote, "We're the laughingstocks of the league." Pretty much, Takeo. And Spikes isn't the only quality player that the Bengals have poisoned with their ineptitude and incompetence. Top draft pick Peter Warrick also is not happy playing for the league's biggest embarrassment. Check out what he had to say, and I quote again, "People wear thin. It will take its toll sooner or later. Losing is not in me, and I'm trying to keep it out of me." End quote. Bad news, Pete. Losing may not have been in you before, but it is now. You may have been a winner your entire life, but now you are a Bengal, and by definition, that makes you a loser. Hope you enjoyed all that winning at Florida State, because that's not going to happen again anytime soon. Now back to our main topic tonight. The controversy over Allen Iverson's new CD continues to inflame passions on both sides. Supporters say that he has a right to artistic expression, while critics claim that Iverson sent the wrong message, especially to his young fans. Tony Cox breaks down this sensitive and complex issue in tonight's First Word.
If these were expressed as Allen's personal opinions in a news column or something of that character, it would be a different issue. But this is really an issue of artistic expression.
Hiding bigotry behind this cloak of artistic expression in First Amendment is in many ways bogus, when at the end of it is a dead human being.
Everybody stay fly, get money, killing bitches. I'm hitting anything in plain view for my riches.
Allen Iverson's debut CD continues to stir controversy despite his public apology to civil rights groups and his agreement to change the lyrics of his song 40 Bars after his meeting with NBA Commissioner David Stern last Thursday.
He gave me certain assurances that the lyrics that were most offensive will be changed when the album is put out. And if he doesn't change it, then I invite our fans to condemn me, the league, the 76ers, and Allen.
And there's been plenty of condemnation so far, which has put one of the game's best offensive players on the defense.
Why do I have to? Why do I have to explain that? I don't have to explain. To you?
No, to the kids.
To you? To you?
To your fans.
To you? To you?
I don't
To you?
if you do a CD or not.
Iverson isn't the only NBA All-Star to turn rapper. Both the Lakers' Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant have rap CDs, but their music hasn't caused nearly the commotion that Iverson's has. For one thing, their lyrics reflect the kind of good guy image that has earned them millions in endorsements. In contrast, Iverson's hardcore reputation has cost him endorsement deals, and his controversial CD has served to only harden his bad boy image.
Get murdered in a second and first degree. Come at me with faggot tendencies, you be sleeping with a maggots be.
And while no one, including Iverson himself, thinks his music career will replace his basketball career, critics say Iverson has a responsibility to the public and is a role model. Supporters say he has the right to express himself any way he chooses.
It's not a free pass that he gets to hate, but in a situation where everybody can express themselves, even if they sound like damn fools, we can't prevent that.
I had a talk with Allen, and I don't think he understood the impact of the intensity of those lyrics and what kind of backlash they would generate.
Individual freedom is the essence of American society, but the public outcry over Iverson's creative expression has forced society to ask the question just how free it really wants to be. There is a fine line between censorship and public responsibility, and Iverson is finding that walking that line can be dangerous. Jim?
Hey, Tony, you got this one down cold. All right, thank you very much for that report. When we come back, we will break down the ongoing controversy over Allen Iverson's CD with Dr. C. Dolores Tucker of the Martin Luther King Foundation for Nonviolence and one of the original pioneers of rap music, Two Live Crew's Luther Campbell. That's up next when The Last Word returns right after this.
Looking for your home planet, Terry?
Very funny, Howard. Actually, I'm tracking a satellite in geosynchronous orbit 22,000 miles above us. It's sending a digital signal to my cool little RCA Direct TV dish. Wow. But you don't have to know all that. Just the RCA experts at Radio Shack.
Good.
Now for a limited time, buy an RCA Direct TV system for $99.99 and get free Radio Shack standard installation when you sign up for Total Choice Programming. The RCA Digital Entertainment Center, only at Radio Shack.
In tennis, the advantage of the two-handed backhand is obviously power because you're using both hands. But it also is deceiving because in a split second you can change the direction of the ball that you hit. Your opponent never knows if you're going to rifle it down the line or rip it cross court, and I like that.
Knowledge is the edge. Call your advisor or Invesco Funds about the European Fund. You should know what Invesco knows.
Okay, we want our customers to know that we're dropping prices. So we're going to put these up all over the store.
Construction thing.
We're dropping prices over here and on all of these and here too. Now that says lower prices. Hey, what's with the hard hats?
It's for falling prices.
What's that?
It's a backhoe for clearing away old prices.
I like the hard hats.
Yeah.
Want lower prices? Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
Get the power of 3, the Intel Pentium 3 processor.
We won the game. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Saved by Miraculous goaltending.
He is the best in the business.
We're celebrating Extra Value Days at Peerless Tire Company.
And we want you to come down and join us.
For your truck or SUV, check out the all-new Peerless Force 4, as low as $54.99 with a 41,000-mile warranty and free mounting.
Designed for luxury SUVs, the Bridgestone Dueler HL, as low as $94.99 with a 60,000-mile warranty and free mounting.
Come to Peerless Tire, we'll go the extra mile.
Hockey on one hand, basketball on the other. Hi, I'm Steve Psycho Lyons with an incredible prize for one lucky fan. Burger King and Fox Sports Net are giving away the ultimate sports weekend. You can win tickets to see your hometown hoops or hockey team play a game at home and win a trip to see them play on the road. Or you and 9 of your new best friends could be sitting pretty at the luxury suite of a home game. Hey, nice play. Visit a participating Burger King restaurant and enter to win.
Hey.
It was the Sunday Inquirer yesterday.
Hey, man, look. Why do I have to? 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 Why do I have to explain that? I don't have to explain. To you?
No, to the kids.
To you? To you?
To your fans.
To you?
You
To you?
I don't
To
care
you?
if you do a CD or not. You have a responsibility.
All right, so listen.
I think it's cool to go and pull a trigger.
I need to explain that, right? I need to explain that, right? I'm going to explain it. I'm not going to explain it to y'all. Can you get that in your head? I'm not going to explain it to you guys.
Allen Iverson may not think that he has to answer to anybody about the controversial lyrics on his new CD, but a lot of other people think that he does. One of them is the chairperson of the National Political Congress of Black Women, Dr. C. Dolores Tucker. I'm also joined by rap pioneer Luther Campbell of Two Live Crew. It's good to have both of you on the program. Dolores, let me start with you concerning Allen Iverson's CD. Is he merely expressing himself as an artist, or is he preaching hate?
Well, not only is he his album reflects kill the bitch and effing those terms that we find very offensive, also nigger. Let me just say this. There is a standard, a double standard in the entertainment industry. And what we're saying is, black women, we're tired of being called hoes, bitches, and we're tired of the word nigger, which we fought 300 years to stop our children from using, and white America to stop using it. Now, this young man has done that, and I'm glad we were able to arrange a meeting. I also had the Philadelphia Martin Luther King Association. But the double standard is when the cops said, when these young people said, kill the cop, their freedom of expression didn't exist because it was taken off.
All right.
The record was taken. Well, one other one, when Michael Jackson said 2 words offensive to our Jewish friends, the Jewish leaders went in, they didn't like what he said, the 2 words, it was pulled off. And you haven't heard too much about Michael Jackson anymore.
So, Luke,
there
why don't
is
you...
a double standard, and that's what we want stopped. Never again.
Luke,
are we going to allow anybody to
do you see a double standard, Luke? And what about the lyrics and what about the CD?
I don't see a double standards. I mean, you know, the thing is, I mean, a lot of people like Ms. Tucker here, you know, they run around and they say these things, you know, about people, you know, double standards and people saying this, but the fact of the matter is, in this case here, is art imitating life. I mean, every day you can walk through the inner city, you can walk through a barbershop, you can walk through a beauty parlor. People are saying the B word, the H word. It's the context in which you put the words in. If somebody say, oh, you a nigger in a degrading way, yeah, then it's offensive, and then it's fighting words. And the same thing with a B. Same thing with the B word. If you say you a B in a certain context, what happens then that's fighting words, and then there's just figure of speech. And a lot of women, a lot of beautiful, intelligent black women use those words real freely. In this case, this man is not saying this in a way that he's...
All right, so let's talk about context. Dolores, for instance, do you want to hear those words in any context? Dolores.
Let me say this. He's talking about adults can do what they want. We are committed to protecting our children. They're calling each other hoes and bitches in school. A little 3-year-old girl, my grandniece, was walking around the street saying, I'm a queen bitch. There was a congressman went into his office, and a white gentleman came and rubbed his little boy's head. Is this your boy? And the congressman said, yes. And you know what? He said, take your effing hands off of me. We're tired of our children
at the same time, let me say this.
At
the same time,
hold on, one at a time. One at a time. Go ahead, Luke.
At the same time, they did it on Dynasty for how many years? They called the beautiful lady the bitch. I mean, it's certain ways that you put it in.
Yeah, but look, on Dynasty, they weren't dropping N-bombs or F-bombs either.
We're concerned about our black children. Some of them don't even have daddies. Most of them haven't seen their daddies. And we're talking about kids that are homeless and in the street.
And that's a very good
these
point.
Guys.
Let me say this.
One at a time.
That is a very good point, and the point is that's the reason why we have stickers on these records saying there are parental advisory stickers on there, and everybody abides by the law. But at the same time,
let me make one point. Let me jump in on one point. Look, how hard is it for a kid to get the CD? I mean, obviously, you can throw any sticker you want on the CD. The kid is going to get the CD.
How hard it is? Basically, the same hardness.
Hold on. So let's let him finish.
He asked me a question.
Go ahead, Luke.
It is up to the retailers. It's just as hard as a kid getting a can of beer. A kid could get a record.
I would like to speak
nowadays,
but now,
kids can get a record.
He's had a lot of time.
All right, Dolores, go ahead.
I want to say this. The Federal Trade Commission has done a report. They studied it for a year, and I helped the Senate to hold those hearings with Senator Lieberman. And let me tell you what it said. It said children were targeted 100% of the stickered albums. 9-year-old black kids, Hispanic kids, 11 and 12, were taught how to better market those state albums to children. So
and let me tell you something. And let me tell you about that report. That report is a bunch of BS. And I'm gonna say that because that report was based on the music industry and the black films that are depicted in the music industry. And that report was based on what? What else? Black music. It wasn't based on Atlanta's Morissette.
Let me jump in. We're going to take a short time out. We'll come back with more. We'll pick up that very point. And also, when we come back, we'll talk about this issue of artistic expression. Is Allen Iverson protected by that or not? Are the statements that he made really any different than those made by John Rocker? We'll talk about that as well. More with Dr. C. Dolores Tucker and Luther Campbell when The Last Word returns right after this.
National Sports Report Sports Break is brought to you by MySAP.com.
Hi, I'm Bill Maas with this sports break for the National Sports Report. The Yanks try to close out the Mariners in Game 6 in New York. It's El Duque taking on John Halama. The Hawks will be without their big man for a while. Dikembe Mutombo has malaria. And Avs goalie Patrick Roy playing for history tonight. Roy needs a win for the all-time record. We'll have all that and a lot more coming up tonight on the National Sports Report.
The new economy won't be like the old new economy. The new economy will have new ideas. Ideas like profitability. With powerful e-business solutions, the new economy will be about how well you run your e-business, not just how well you promote it. SAP.
I'd say that the TiVo's been a real godsend for me. I'm in a high-stress profession. When I get home, television's my salvation. TiVo let me create my own TV network, so I can watch what I want when I want to. It's my way to forget about the day.
What do you like to watch?
Mainly cop shows.
Get a coach from this guy. He's going away for a long time.
Michelin would like to remind you, there's only one safety feature on the road that actually touches the road. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Buy 4 Michelin tires now and get a free emergency roadside kit. And you'll be eligible to enter the Buy 4 and Score sweepstakes with chances to win a BMW X5 and an iMac computer or other great prizes. See your participating Michelin dealer by October 31st.
Tonight on Fox Sports Net. First, the National Sports Report at 10. Then, it's the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. And at 11:30, Jim Rome comes up huge on the last word. Tonight.
Attention Dodge truck lovers, it's time to take advantage of Ted. Take advantage of closeout prices on all remaining 2000 Dodge Dakota trucks. Take advantage of Ted's year-end discounts and $2,000 Dodge factory rebates. Drive a quad cab with 4 full-size doors. Save $5,066 and pay only $23,754. Drive a club cab 4x4 SLT Plus Premium Package. Pay only $20,277. Or drive a club cab 2x4 SLT Package and pay only $17,176. Now's the best time to buy a new Dodge truck at Ted's Truck Center in Pocatello.
What about this one? All right.
Can't find the right car for you? Shop VHIX.com. Want access to 500,000 used cars? VHIX.com. Lease or purchase? VHIX.com. Or do side-by-side comparisons? VHIX.com. Need to find the right local dealer? VHIX.com. Find the right car for you. VHIX.com. Roadmap to the automotive world.
We have been talking about the controversial lyrics on Allen Iverson's new CD. I am joined once again by Dr. C. Dolores Tucker, who is the chairperson of the National Political Congress of Black Women. I'm also joined by rap pioneer Luther Campbell of 2 Live Crew. Dolores, what about John Rocker's situation in Major League Baseball? He made some insensitive remarks to a magazine reporter. He was suspended for those remarks. Allen Iverson made insensitive remarks. He laid them down on a CD. Should he have been suspended as well?
Sir, I don't know about Rocker. I do know.
And that's your problem.
I do know.
Look, hold on. Let her answer. Let her answer. Let her answer.
Just a moment. I do want to know why Michael Jackson's record was pulled. I want to know why the Kill the Cop album was pulled. And I want you to know that the reason those tapes are stickered is because even those who make them know they're not fit for children. That's why it's a sticker on them. So they shouldn't be available to children.
I want to answer the question.
Answer the question why Michael Jackson's record.
Where were you?
No, find
hey,
out
look, do this. Hold on. Look, hold on 1 second. Look, hold on. Both of you hold on for 1 minute. Hold on, Luke, answer her question and then say what you want to say.
Okay. Yes.
Go ahead, Luke.
I want to answer you the question about why was Michael Jackson's pulled, why was a Killer the Cop pulled, and why are they sticking in the first place?
Go ahead, Luke.
Okay, and my point is, this lady,
this lady,
Dolores, he's going to. Let him go.
this lady that's on the other end of this TV right
He's not
here, she
answering
only
the
comes out.
question.
She only
He won't
comes
let him.
out
He's trying
certain
to.
times. She only comes
You
out
answer the
certain
questions.
times.
You
Come out-
answer the questions.
Hold on.
when Rocker-
One at a
Come
time.
out when people
You
Rocker,
answer
people
the
like Rocker
questions.
make statements
Answer
like
the
that there.
questions.
Dolores, let him answer the question, and he will.
Well,
One
he
at a
won't.
time.
He's not answering.
No, he's
taking
trying
up
to.
our
Let
time.
him go. Let him go.
Well,
Lay
if he
out for a
doesn't
minute.
answer it, I'll leave because he's taking up the time asking
Don't
about
go
me.
anywhere. Just let him answer the question. Go ahead, Luke.
I just want to know, Ms. Tucker, where were you when Mr. Rocker made
He's
those
asking me
statements?
questions. I'll answer his when he's finished that.
Because you only attack rappers, and that's wrong. And you're wrong for that.
Because Rocker doesn't affect our children. I'm worried about my children who are ending up in jail.
In 1984, when you was in government
If he's
in
not gonna answer my
Philadelphia,
question,
and they
I'll
blew
leave.
those
All right,
people
hold on.
up,
If he
where
doesn't
were
answer
you
the question,
then?
I'm going.
Hold on.
I don't need to
Dolores,
sit
you
here
know,
and give him-
don't go anywhere. We're going to get
Well,
to
he
this.
better
We're going to
answer
get
my
up.
questions.
Okay, hold on a minute. Don't go anywhere.
And then I'll answer
Luke,
his.
Luke, what about the issue of artistic expression? What he did, what Allen Iverson is doing when he lays down this
No,
rap.
I didn't say that, sir.
Oh, no,
I want
no,
him to
I know,
answer-
but I'm going to try and ask a
I want
question.
him
I'm
to
still the
answer
host.
why Michael Jackson.
No, I'd like to ask a question if I could. Is that all right?
Pulled and why Killer Cop was pulled.
All right.
That's what I wanted to know.
All right.
And
What-
why are the
right.
why are the records stickered? The
Hold
album
on.
stickered.
Hold on.
And why was Alanis Morissette wasn't pulled when she was talking about being a B and giving in the movie theater? Now, answer that one, Miss Tucker.
Listen, sir.
You
I'm
remember
gonna
that
leave.
one?
I don't want to leave here. I've asked him 3 questions. When he answers those, I'll answer all of his. I can't talk about this thing. My jails are full. Right there in California,
What's your
49%.
What's your question?
49%.
What's your question?
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to leave in a minute. Luke, she wants to know the answer to the question, why has Allen Iverson's CD not been pulled while others have?
Those other CDs have not been pulled, as far as I know.
Ask him why Michael Jackson's record was not played. It's pulled.
Michael Jackson made
Ask him
that.
why.
Michael Jackson said what he said in his record. He decided, him and the record company decided to pull that record.
Why?
Because that's his own opinion. I don't have anything to do with Michael Jackson.
I know what Billboard said. And why was Full of Cup?
Let me say this here.
Why was the cup?
All right. We spent the whole show going around this whole issue, this one question. I need the answer to this question. Luke, what is the difference between what John Rocker did and what Allen Iverson did? Why was Rocker suspended and Iverson was not? What is the difference?
And the difference is,
sir,
Dolores, you need to let him answer this question. Go ahead, please.
Let me ask you
Excuse
the
me.
question. What John Rocker did in an interview, he was expressing his feelings in an interview. What Allen Iverson did on a record, Allen Iverson was explaining where he came from and what he experienced as a man in life.
May I
Same
answer
thing.
that?
Yeah, go right ahead, Dolores,
Same
please.
thing.
He didn't answer my question.
Imitating life.
Okay.
You think Allen Iverson's
Okay, let her
gonna
go
run
now.
around?
He didn't answer my
Okay.
question, but I'll answer his.
Go ahead.
Because of where he came from in the street, he should be the last one to glorify his life to children to repeat and to emulate. That's why they pay these athletes millions of dollars to promote what they want those children to follow them and do. So why he would be the last one? He should say, look where I am. Look is what I've done. But he's telling them to F the bitch. He's telling them to kill
All right.
the bitch. He's telling
very
them to
quickly,
murder.
look, Jim,
And he's calling them niggas, and we're
look,
tired of that.
Look, very
and we're
quickly.
not going to take it anymore.
In response to
We're
her
not
point,
gonna
look,
take it
look,
anymore.
if Allen had such a hard time growing up, why is he still rapping about these things?
And glorifying it to these children.
All right, we have 10 seconds. Go ahead, Luke.
Hey, let me. I'm gonna tell you this here. I got a guy right here, Edgerrin James, right here. He just did a record in here today with me. You can. Hey, EJ, look here. You can. Look. What you gonna think he's gonna do? What kind of record you think he's gonna do?
Well,
a lady like that's gonna automatically say. She's gonna automatically say what?
You're not going to defame us like nobody can defame other groups.
All right,
not going to do it anymore.
All right, with the bonus appearance from Edgerrin James. All right, thank you very much. All right, I'm going to come back and wrap things up. A very spirited debate tonight. We'll get to the bottom of this. I'll have some final thoughts when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
You're an investor. Would a cell phone company push your buttons? Janus dove into their books, questioned their projections, called up their customers, even tracked down the company that sells them their microchips. to make sure there were no kinks in their supply line. That's how Janus decides if a stock is a smart call. Don't put your money on hold. Get there. Janus Mutual Funds.
I remember this great kid, Tommy, sharp as a tack. He thought we should offer a package of voice, data, and web services for one flat rate, just like they do at XO Communications. So I told him, put it down on paper, and I'll let you present it to the board. I wonder where Tommy works now.
They can't. We do. Voice, data, and web for business. XO, not just talk.
Someday, at a job interview, they'll ask, do you work well under pressure? Try not to laugh.
Football Today delivers the ultimate news program devoted to the NFL and college football scene. Weekdays at 6.
Okay, we want our customers to know that we're dropping prices. So we're going to put these up all over the store.
Construction thing.
We're dropping prices over here and on all of these and here too. Now that says lower prices. Hey, what's with the hard hats?
It's for falling prices.
What's that?
It's a backhoe for clearing away old prices.
I like the hard hats.
Yeah.
Want lower prices? Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
I'm ready as anybody can be. I'm ready as anybody can be. Yeah.
Are you ready to ask your doctor about Viagra? Get ready. Ask your doctor if a free sample of Viagra is right for you.
Well, I'm ready for you. I hope you're ready for me.
Davis and the Redskins. Smith and the Jaguars. It's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader this week.
We're celebrating extra value days at Peerless Tire Company.
And we want you to come down and join us.
Need performance? Get the Dean Stinger GT Radial as low as $43.99 with a 56,000-mile warranty and free mounting.
Quality construction with performance in mind. Get started with the Optima battery, a 72-month warranty and a 2-year free replacement. The ultimate power source.
Come to Peerless Tire, we'll go the extra mile.
Wednesday on The Last Word, did Duke cut kicker Heather Sue Mercer because she wasn't good enough or because she was female? Donna Lopiano and Billy Ray Smith disagree on that. Don't miss it. Time now for my final take. Well, that certainly was loud. Obviously, it's a topic that inspires a great deal of passion on either side, and frankly, neither I nor anybody else is going to change anyone's mind on this issue. To quote noted sports sociologist Harry Edwards, the most important thing is to promote thought-provoking discussion on issues such as these, or at least try. That's it for now. Our thanks to Dolores Tucker and Luke Campbell for coming on the program. I am Jim Rome. We'll see you next time. I am out.
Start your day with the Regional Sports Report for news dedicated to your home teams, followed by the National Sports Report. Weekday mornings on Fox Sports Net.
Right now, offensively, we're not a very good football team. I mean, to make a long story short, we're not playing very well. We got a lot of talent, but I guess everybody thinks when you mix a lot of ingredients in there, you can have a great dish. Right now, the dish is stinking.
My fellow Americans, on Election Day, we strongly urge you to vote no to a proposed constitutional amendment that will require the use of 2-minute warnings in the end of all 4 quarters.
The preceding message paid for by Citizens for Hardcore Football. It's time for Hardcore Football on Fox Sports Net. From the chalkboard to the gridiron, we'll take you inside the pro game to show you the way it is. Now, here are Ronnie Lott, Bill Moss, and Ron Pitts.
For those of you you're looking for a show on how to perform a tonsillectomy at home, may I suggest that on your way to get your surgical gloves, you change the channel. Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Maas, and welcome to Hardcore Football on Fox Sports Net. Joining me on the road to the Super Bowl are two of the best, my co-hosts Ronnie Lott and Ron Pitts. Guys, Monday night it was Jacksonville at Tennessee, and the Titans won 27-13. And just as he was about to score, Keenan McCardle fumbled. Tennessee recovered in the end zone for a touchback. That pretty much tells the story of Jacksonville's plight. Jacksonville now lost 4 straight games, 2-5, and that thing looks pretty rough down there.
Yeah, pretty rough. I better get some of those surgical gloves to put on. They need a serious operation down there, an operation of taking out somebody's heart, because last night I didn't see any heart. I didn't see anything from this team, and unfortunately right now, you know and I know that when you have a situation like this, it gets even worse.
That's right. We talked about that window closing for this team. Well, it's like this far from being closed on them. Not a good mix between Tom Coughlin, the head coach, and trying to be the offensive coordinator, along with Mark Brunell, the quarterback. Something is lost there in the translation. Like Shannon Sharpe said, it's stinking. And the big thing is I think the team is starting to get a little worn down from Coughlin's hardcore approach. We like hardcore, and there's a time for hardcore, but I don't think this is a time right now.
Dr. Larry, Dr. Mo, Dr. Curley. Way to go, doctors. We appreciate it.
You're right. Thank you.
Every week on Hardcore Football, we want to hear from you. So send us your questions and comments at foxsports.com. Once you reach the website, click NFL, then click Hardcore Football and fire away. See this ball? Every week, we'll pick a random visitor to our website and award him or her this pigskin with our compliments. So keep those emails coming. Today's question is about the Redskins. How about their chances of getting to the Super Bowl?
Their chances of getting to the Super Bowl, as you know, they got to go through, L.A. I was going to say L.A., but St. Louis. And with St. Louis and the way they're playing offensively, the only team that maybe can match up with them is the Washington Redskins. If you can get Darrell Green and if you can get Deion Sanders and Champ Bailey to match up with those 3 guys, they have a shot.
I agree. And that road may also go through Minnesota. It may take a little detour. Vikings playing very good football right now. Dante Culpepper is the difference. Give your credit to Denny Green, because Denny Green once again made a decision that a lot of people didn't agree with the quarterback change. Once again, he comes out smelling awful good.
Yeah, he smells awful good, and that owner didn't mind either by giving him a lot of money.
He's smelling like money, as a matter of fact. We have a great show set to kick off here in our Los Angeles studios. Will be Patriots former head coach Pete Carroll. He'll give us the inside story in the world of coaching. But before we hear from Pete, here's what others had to say about Week 7 of the NFL season.
I've never had a day where, had 5 interceptions to start off first play of the game, and it got progressively worse as the game went along.
You want another quarterback in now? No, you've been trying to create that controversy all year long. So what's up? Now is the time to talk about it. You want to bring it up now? So, you do it. Don't ask me to participate with it. If you want to do that, you go ahead and do it. That's not my job.
A lot of loyalty being displayed down in Dallas, especially from the owner, Jerry Jones, sticking with Troy Aikman through the tough times. He was with him through the good times, but in the end, it might cost Dave Campo his job. It's now time to meet today's guest, Pete Carroll. After 3 seasons and 2 playoff appearances with the Patriots, Pete Carroll finds himself sidelined. Before leading New England, he was Ronnie Lott's head coach with the New York Jets. Pete's at the chalkboard with Ronnie Lott and Ron Pitts. Coach, it's okay with me if you make him run gassers.
No, I ain't running no more. He ain't running either. We've had enough of that.
He didn't run any of them.
Were you a big conditioning guy?
Yeah, I want the guys to be in great shape. Sure.
All right, that's the end of the show. He's got to leave. We can't have any of that.
That's hardcore.
That's hardcore. You belong here. What's it like now? You've been out for a while. The Sundays roll around. Do you get that feeling?
Well, you can't replace the ball games. The thrill of being on those sidelines and the excitement of the crowd and all that in the big games, you can't replace that. So I do miss that some. I got to admit that.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask you is, watching the game of football today, what do you see out there that you're saying, God, the NFL has changed?
Well, the game is changing some, and right now with the power of these offenses that we're seeing from St. Louis and from the Colts, the game is changing some. It's so spread out, it's so fast. It's hard for the defenses to catch up right now.
How would you stop the Rams? We talked about this last week, of course.
We're
all defensive guys. Just in general, what would you do to attack them?
Well, you got to take. What you have to do is you got to take away the big play. They just strike you dead with with the number of ways that they can. You have to eliminate that. If you're going to beat them, you got to stop that first off. And so you have to play really good deep coverage, and you have to tackle well because those guys are so difficult in the open field.
Well, speaking of that, here we got the Indianapolis Colts, and just like the Rams, they got a great back. They got Falk, they got Wilkins, they got Harrison, they got Peyton Manning here at the quarterback spot. It's a lot like the Rams. Talk to us about this offense right here. You had a chance to play against them.
Well, this is a fantastic offense, basically, because what the quarterback can do. But he's got, you always need this guy right here. You got to have the running back to build it around. But the quarterback is so special in this offense. They do so many things that in this particular game, the play that we'll show you, a very basic play, the defense makes mistakes, the play breaks out, because you're worried about all the multitude of things that they can do. So this offense is loaded. We'd love to show you play here.
Draw it up here and kind of give us an idea of what happened just from the start, who made the mistake, or who did a good job on the offense, and why it broke.
This really, it's a very basic play, and this is one of those times where maybe the defense was thinking about all the other things they could have been facing, and here's just a lead draw that James is going to run, that he's going to break for a touchdown. What was going on defense here is Steve Sidwell, the defensive coordinator, was bringing some pressure. He had a 5-man pressure with the free safety coming off the weak side, slanting the entire defense as the free safety blitzes here. The first thing that happens is the free safety has an opportunity to make the tackle on James in the backfield. Guy has a chance to make a play, doesn't make it.
So the call is there. They just got to make some plays.
So you got to make the play.
But what happens when the player doesn't make the play, now the rest of the defense, the discipline and their ability to stay on task with what they have to do breaks down. We have a couple blocks out here on the corner where Lamar King is supposed to hold his area on the C-gap, and this blitz is all coming from here, and you have to contain real well away from the pressure. As James hits it up into the line of scrimmage, Lamar dips inside and takes a look to make a tackle in here where he is not supposed to be making a tackle. James, being the runner that he is, breaks it back outside. Chad Brown also falls back inside, and now the ball's out on the edge, and James is going to get in the end zone.
Let's take a look at it on the tape, and you can see an example of it. Okay, there's a safety blitz you're talking about.
Here he comes. Yeah, this is Bellamy coming off the edge, and the whole defense is slanting to the right. But when you have a blitz, you have to have really disciplined containment.
And there goes the tackle, putting his head inside, letting him get outside, and Chad Brown also doing the same thing there.
Yeah, and so it really, you might not realize how critical it is to be disciplined on run defense. And this is one of those times when it breaks down, and a great player makes a touchdown out of it.
Well, that's one of the things that, and especially out here, Pete, playing corner, Pitch, you and I have played corner, and you see this back coming. You got to fight out here.
You got to hold contain.
Hold contain, because you know that safety is going to be filling inside, and you got to trust that the safety is going to be inside. That time he ducks inside and he lets James get outside.
It's about doing a disciplined job on every aspect of the game. And this guy has a responsibility. He breaks down. He has one. He breaks down. The corner breaks down. Safety can't make the tackle. You got to touch.
And that's the thing, is the defensive coordinator drives you crazy, doesn't you? You got everything there lined up, and guys start missing plays.
You're cheerleading when you see the thing coming. You're going crazy, and all of a sudden, oh no.
Exactly. Well, coming up, Pete Carroll will take us behind the scenes into the world of NFL coaches. I'm sure there's a lot of interesting stuff there. You're watching Hardcore Football on Fox Sports Net.
Hardcore Football on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Pontiac, driving excitement, and your local Pontiac dealers.
The 16-valve twin-cam Grand Am SE. Built with the enduring strength of high-performance steel. Because only the strong survive. The Grand Am was solid form design. Get over $4,500 in average finance savings on any new 2000 Grand Am with 0% APR for up to 60 months. See your Pontiac dealer today.
Attention all freshmen. Please report to the Student Center this afternoon. There will be a new student meeting.
He finished in 4. The bulb? It's on the 5-year plan.
The Philips Marathon bulb. Good for 5 years. Guaranteed. Philips. Light bulbs that last.
Look, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
You think you're on the right track. You save $10 on a $10,000 stock trade. But then you lose $100 because of lousy execution. There are no shortcuts to financial success. Anyone can offer cheap trades. Very few online brokers can offer the world's best financial thinking. Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected.
It's not a good idea to wait too long for a plumber. Take care of it quicker with Mr. Rooter.
From the goal line to the sideline, Football Today delivers the ultimate news program devoted to the NFL and college football scene. Football Today, weekdays at 6 on Fox Sports Net.
We're celebrating extra value days at Peerless Tire Company.
And we want you to come down and join us.
Need performance? Get the Dean Stinger GT Radial as low as $43.99 with a 56,000-mile warranty and free mounting.
Quality construction with performance in mind. Crank it up with a Champion battery as low as $50.99, 72-month warranty, and free 2-year roadside jump-starting assistance.
Come to Peerless Tire, we'll go the extra mile.
Oh, yeah! Absolutely bonkers. I can't believe it.
Welcome back to Hardcore Football on Fox Sports Net. We've been talking with Pete Carroll, the former head coach of the Jets and Patriots. And, Coach, you know, you guys have to go into a game talking about as a defensive coordinator or even a head coach. You got to know the opposing coach. Everybody talks about that chess match between coordinators. How important was that to you, and what were some of the things you would look for, you know, in your opposing coordinator?
Well, you know, you're always looking for an edge in everything that you're doing in coaching. And if you have background and a lot of history with a particular opponent, and particularly the play caller and the quarterback, it can really give you some insights that can help you make decisions, eliminate things that you'd never want to do, and call for some special things week to week. And I really found that was really helpful to me. And I thought in my division, if we played guys year in and year out, I could really bank on that and do some special things.
You had to know who you were seeing and what he liked to do or didn't like to do, and how to get them like generals. And
Hey, Pete, you know, one of the things I don't think people know, for a head coach, the responsibilities through the week, through the course of the week, you have to wear a bunch of different hats. You have to be an administrator with your coaching staff. You have 16 coaches. You have to be a coach. Sometimes you have to be a father with some of these young guys that are in the league, and maybe some of your older veterans as well.
You got it all now.
And also, how about a media personality? Every day you have to talk to the media. You might have had a radio or television show. I mean, you have a wide variety of personality.
It's a dynamic job. There's so many things that you do as a head coach that you don't have to do as a coordinator or as an assistant coach. It's just a totally different job description, and you have to, you got to be counselor, you got to be the priest, you got to be the family counselor. I mean, everything you can think of, you have to do as a psychologist, and then just a hardball coach and all of that. So it's a dynamic job, and it takes time to get good at it. It takes time to develop.
A lot of people, the thing is, if you're a good defensive coordinator for a good team, you should be a head coach. If you're a good offensive coordinator for a good team, you should be a head coach. But you have to be a well-rounded person and oversee a lot of things.
There's no question that it's a calling that it just encompasses so many different aspects that it takes a long time. Hopefully you've been with good people and good organizations, so you've had good models for you. It's the guys that make that change. I mean, it's a big awakening for them. I promise you.
With that in mind, what is it that coaching that you really like? I mean, is there something there that you look at and you go, I would love to coach again for this reason?
Well, yeah, I love the interaction of the competition. You know, the preparing, find a way to win, trying to get the message across to a guy and show him how he can do something special in the game that can impact the outcome, and then taking it and seeing that process go through the week, even from the off season, and then you build through camp and you go through the weekend, and here it comes to the real moments. You know, is the guy going to execute what he's supposed to do? That whole build up, and there's a little mystery in it, and it's intriguing, and it's just a blast.
Well, that's one of the things I was curious about. I mean, you talked about the mystery. What kind of mystery is there?
Well, you don't know. You don't know if the guy's going to get it done. You know,
Okay.
You know, you're calling on somebody to do something that you have prepared him to do. Now, does he have the mental makeup to go ahead and carry it to game time? And when the moment of truth happens, does he do what he's supposed to do?
That's right.
There's suspense in it, and it's exciting, and that's why we can't tell how these games are going to come out, because you can't always predict. You know.
How do you feel about head coaching and also wearing that hat, like we talked about, and the hat of a coordinator at the same time? We've seen some coaches throughout the years do that.
Guys.
Yeah, Norv Turner does that. Washington.
Mike Holmgren.
Some guys can do it, but some guys can't do it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's one thing that you want to do is when you enter your staff is give yourself the best chance to win, and that head coach may be the best coordinator he can get. And so if that's that's what you have to do, if you're the one that has to do it because you can't fill the spot with a guy that you feel confident in, then you do it. You can get it done. Most of the guys are offensive guys. There's a couple guys that will Bill Belichick is a guy that does it with his defense. He's calling the defensive calls. I've done it at times and been interacting in that, but it's hard to really take command of the entire game when you are calling plays. And during the week, you prepare so much, with such intensity that you can get distracted from a lot of the other duties that we talked about.
When you talk about calling those plays, what are those sheets you guys carry? You guys are always looking at that sheet.
Yeah, I got one of those.
There it is. Just happen to have one there.
You guys cover up your microphone and talk.
I don't know about this one. So somebody doesn't see. I don't know about that one. I never did that. But it's really just a point of reference for you during the course of a game. You might have some things highlighted that you want to make sure and get to. As the game plays itself out, you can forget. You can forget a particular call or a play that you wanted. So a head coach would have a lot of the guys will have in their back pocket, and usually they stay in their back pocket. But this is a particular card that has offense on one side and defense on the other, and it's just really a reference point and reminders. And you might highlight, make little notes. Now, when I'm calling all the defensive plays, now it's much more extensive than this, and I have much more detail to the specific situations and the personnel that are in the game and all that. This is more of a general ready list so that you can keep track and have reference points.
I got to ask you one question, Pete. What's the model situation now? Is the model situation being a general manager, being able to be the president of the team, being able to be the head coach? What's the model situation for an NFL team? If you had to take a team, and right now, Pete Carroll is the head coach of XYZ team, what would you
Is it total control?
Or total control.
Without hesitation, it's total control.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to have the
that's
ability.
job security.
well, it's not only that, though. You want to be represented directly, and when you have to filter through other people, it's hard to get the exact representation that you want with the style of choices that you take, the style of decisions that you make, and discipline aspects, all the way through the way you organize. You just don't want to have to go through people to do things. Because
So you
ultimately,
sink or swim with your own decision.
you're going to get called on the table for what you do. You want to have the control, and you want to feel like you had the say-so. And there's some organizations that are doing it. You'll notice that all the experienced coaches that have been around will fight, they'll beg, borrow, and steal to get that, position because they know they want that direct connection with the decision-making process.
If you're going to cook, you deserve the right to go out and buy the groceries. That's what it's called.
Great one said that.
Yeah, somebody said that. Yeah. Somebody had total control. Well, in a minute here, we're going to give you total control. We're going to ask you to take the field and show us some coaching tricks of the trade. Glad you brought that sheet with you. You're watching Hardcore Football on Fox Sports Net.
You're always going to have a game plan with you.
That's right. You never know when you're going to be asked to hit.
The 16-valve twin-cam Grand Am SE. Built with the enduring strength of high-performance steel. Because only the strong survive. The Grand Am was solid form design. Get over $4,500 in average finance savings on any new 2000 Grand Am with 0% APR for up to 60 months. See your Pontiac dealer today.
Okay, we want our customers to know that we're dropping prices. So we're going to put these up all over the store.
Construction thing.
We're dropping prices over here and on all of these and here too. Now that says lower prices. Hey, what's with the hard hats?
It's for falling prices.
What's that?
It's a backhoe for clearing away old prices.
I like the hard hats.
Yeah.
Want lower prices? Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
You made it through another hectic day. Dinner's over, dishes are done. Finally, time to relax. Could there be a worse time for heartburn? Good thing there's finally something made just for it. Introducing Mylanta Nighttime Strength, the strongest antacid you can get. Finally something strong enough to get rid of even your toughest nighttime heartburn. And fast. So go ahead, enjoy your night. If you can. New Mylanta Nighttime Strength.
Look, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Scores and highlights are only half the story. Oh, my goodness! Now, the nightly show that delivers more coverage, more analysis, plus live interaction where you get to sound off.
How did this show get out of control?
The National Sports Report at 10 and midnight. Start your day with the Regional Sports Report for news dedicated to your home team. Memphis, followed by the National Sports Report. Weekday mornings on Fox Sports Net.
No matter where I travel, home is the best destination of all. By trusting my muffler, brakes, and shocks to the pros at Meineke, I know I'll always get there.
At Meineke, you'll get a lot, but you won't pay a lot.
Hockey fans, stop by participating Meineke discount muffler locations and register to win a fully catered suite for you and 10 of your friends when Colorado hosts Carolina on Friday, November 3rd. Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
We won the game. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on.
On Hardcore Football, it's now time for Tricks of the Trade.
Welcome back. I'm with former head coach Pete Carroll. And, Coach, you talked about stopping the Rams, and one of the things you talked about was you have to be able to tackle. That seems to be a lost art in today's game. How much time as a head coach do you have to spend on techniques with players?
Well, you'd be surprised how little time is spent on the physical aspect of tackling and blocking and tackling. The blocking probably takes a lot more so in practice, but the tackling aspect, boy, we don't do much during the season. So it has to happen during camp, and you got to bank on years of experience.
So it's all game plan during the week, and there's no individual stuff with the guys.
Very little, very little. You just can't afford to take shots at guys. But unfortunately, there's a downside of that, and the tackling is pretty shoddy around the league.
Well, I'm going to ask you to demonstrate tackling and how to bust up plays and bust up passes on our two guys. Just a little help.
Let's go.
Where are they? Come on in, fellas.
All right.
Use them as your dummies.
Oh, God. You had to go there. Spent some time as a head coach, defensive coordinator, but you coached defensive backs for a lot of years. One of your pupils right here.
Yeah, there he is.
Talk about breaking up the ball and the decisions a defensive back has to make when the ball's in the air.
Well, one thing I wanted to always do is I wanted to give a guy the mindset of being as physical as possible. So there's a decision that can be made when you're breaking on a ball, whether to hit a receiver or make a play on the football. And if you break that decision down, you can give a guy an opportunity to really be physical and still make plays on the football. So there's a choice that he has to make. If you're a receiver and the ball's coming into you, there's a time when the ball's flying. The quarterback starts to throw you the football. The defensive back, Ronnie, for instance, he has to make a decision. Am I going to make a hit on this receiver? Am I going to make a play on the ball? I always wanted to emphasize make the hit on the receiver first. So as soon as the ball's in the air, Ronnie locates you, and as the ball's coming in, he is sending all his speed, all his energy to get to you where he can make just a blow-up shot and break the play up and maybe even knock you out.
Yeah, and that's a problem. See, I got all these things in my mind. I see the ball, and this is how I get paid, but I see Ronnie Lott coming at the same time.
Why do you find defensive backs, though, that all of a sudden, Pete, they're coming and they see this thing and they say, oh, well, maybe I can get that.
Yeah, that little split second.
I think you have to practice the decision, and you want to make it real clear cut. Blow the guy up, and if you get there on time to make a play on the football, that decision is not the hard one. The hard one is to get guys to be physical and knock the heck out of players. So I want to make sure that's the #1 top emphasis.
Well, I was going to say that's a very difficult one because, as you know, when you play the game of football, for whatever reason, when you talk about fear, and one of the things striking fear into somebody, it's hard to get that when you get to this point. Back here, I'm strong, I'm fast, I can knock people out. But when it gets to this point of no return, right here, when I gotta really deliver a blow.
Yeah.
You know what that's all about.
How about angles? And Ronnie, you made a great play in the NFC Championship game a few years back there against the Rams. You knocked the ball away from Flipper Anderson. How do you play angles?
Well, that comes. You got to be on the field. You got to practice it. And you got to get the experience and the backlog of information how to do this. This is not just an easy, just go get on a good angle.
Right.
You have to gauge the speed, the timing, the distance that you have. That takes experience, and some guys have a better knack than others. Ronnie had a great knack for it. He could get on course. You get on an intersecting course with the receiver. I'm going to blow you up, and he's going to go. If the ball beats him there, he just stays on course and throws everything he has to knock you out.
Right.
If he makes a great break on the football and he's driving on this intersecting course, and now he feels I'm beating the football there. Now his attention goes to making the play on the ball. This guy was great at it, and he struck fear because you guys knew, the receivers knew they're going to get the heck knocked out of him.
It's a feel of when you can make it and when you can't.
Okay, but even though it's a feel, one of the things I want to also ask you is that having that ability to then make the decision to get the ball. I mean, a lot of guys Where do you make that decision? Do you make that decision early when you think you got a shot, or do you make that decision late when you say, well, you know
That's
what?
the key. That's the key.
Okay.
If you're thinking about that decision, if you're thinking about it, you're not going to be physical.
Right.
So the whole idea is be physical all the way through to the hit, and now as you feel you're in control of the play and the ball isn't there yet, now your attention goes back, and at the very last second, you dip in front and make your play on the ball. There's really two things. First thing is if you just get there at the time of the ball, you play the blur of that ball and you knock the ball out.
Right.
But if you're beating that ball to the receiver, now you go back and you cut in front at the last instance. You can't afford to cut in front early. That's a guy thinking about intercepting the football, and sometimes he'll make a mistake. I want guys to blow guys up.
Great point. You just mentioned this last week. A guy is beat. You see defensive backs looking back at the ball, and they don't have the man closed up.
That's right.
I don't understand
you gotta,
that.
what is that point where, okay, now I can look at back at the ball? I know what it is. You know what it is. You feel it.
What's funny, though, is that when the guy gets past you, Pittsy, I thought the first thing you're supposed to do is not look back at the quarterback, but you're supposed to go, I got to catch that guy.
Catch the man. Right.
I see more guys, oh, I'm beat. Oh, he's going to throw it.
Now they want to know, okay, when will I be beat? When will it be on highlights?
And you point to the safety.
Yeah, right.
You point to the safety.
Let me ask you this question. When you play defensive tackle, you know you have to be physical. Now, when you get slid out and you play defensive end, you're thinking about being a speed guy. Is that the same thing with safety and corners?
Well, there's a little bit to that, yeah. And Ronnie made the transition. There was a time when it was all about finesse, position, make sure the ball doesn't get thrown over your head. And now when you get inside, now you have more freedom, and your mentality shifts some. And he went through that process early in his career.
So it's tough to find physical corners.
Oh, yeah, there aren't very many of them. There's not many of them around.
Really tough to find.
Thanks for taking your time with us.
My pleasure.
Coming up next, we'll take a look at some of Sunday's big matchups. You're watching Hardcore Football on Fox Sports Net.
That's always a good one. Guy looking back, well, I know I'm beat. Okay, well, run. Grab it.
It's here, waiting for you. Inside is unlimited strength and power. It builds confidence and reshapes your body. It can change everything. This is Bowflex, an entire gym in one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance, all in the convenience of your own home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Bowflex is real. The results are real. The question is, are you ready for Bowflex? For a free video and brochure, call or go online at bowflexdirect.com. Do the research, listen to real customers, then place your order online and get started. Bowflex. Who said change isn't easy?
Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Rodriguez. Here's what we're working on tonight for your 11 p.m. Rocky Mountain Regional Sports Report. We're at the scene with complete coverage of Patrick Roy's shot at breaking Terry Sawchuk's record. Plus, we'll have the playing status of Broncos running back Terrell Davis. So for 30 minutes of nightly sports news, 100% dedicated to Rocky Mountain home teams, stay tuned for your 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report.
Dive into Honda savings at Ted's Honda in Pocatello. We're closing out the last of the 2000s, and now is the time to save like never before. Want a 2000 Honda Accord LX, complete with automatic transmission, air conditioning, power windows, power door lock, cruise control, tilt wheel, AM/FM cassette, and much more? Why pay $19,780 when Ted's closeout price is just $17,900? And if you're looking for a 2000 Prelude, CRV, or Civic, they're closeout priced at similar savings only at Ted's. You want a Honda? You want savings? You want Ted's.
Hi, my name is Victor. I'm the manager of the new Russell's Overhead Doors here in Pocatello.
And in case you didn't know, Russell's Overhead Doors has been serving Southern Idaho for 25 years with quality brand name overhead doors and awnings and the best service you'll find anywhere, all at prices that will please you. While you're at Russell's, ask about the operational maintenance program.
Stop and see what we have to offer here at Russell's Overhead Doors on North Arthur in Pocatello. The best brand names and service above all.
All good. Tonight at 10, the National Sports Report on Fox Sports Net.
That's our show for today. We hope you've enjoyed it. Next week's scheduled guests include the Chiefs NFL Hall of Fame linebacker Willie Lanier. I'm Bill Moss on behalf of Ronnie Lott and Ron Pitts.
Thanks for watching Hardcore Football on Fox Sports Net. So long, everyone. Please remember, stay hardcore. Hey, how about the Rams this week?
Rams, wait a minute, 63.
Willie Lanier, the real 63. The real Chief 63.
There might be a fight for that jersey.
He could have it. I got to give it up.
You got to talk to me about the game this week.
Chiefs?
Do they got
the
enough
grass?
weapons?
Well, you said the grass.
Miraculous goaltending! He is the best in the business.
Welcome inside the Fox Network Center. Kevin Kennedy here along with Randy Sprague. Nice to see you again, Randy.
Always great to work alongside Mr. Myers. Of course, we've got lots to talk about, don't we?
The Yankee-Mariner
Something
game.
going on in New York,
Yes,
isn't there?
we got to see who's in the World Series. Highlights of that as soon as it's over as we move along.
That we will. We're going to begin, though, on the ice where, some big things happening in our nation's capital. In fact, back on October 17th, 1974, the Washington Capitals came up with their first franchise win at home. Well, 26 years later, to the day, the hockey world hoping the Caps would lose on the home ice. Why, you say? Well, Colorado goalie Patrick Waugh looking to break the record for career wins by a goalie. Waugh began the night tied with the legendary Terry Sawchuk, each with 447 W's. Let's make our way to the MCI Center. Caps still looking for the first victory of the season, but that means nothing to Patrick Waugh. First period, no score. That's until Alex Tanguay beats Olaf Kolzig for the goal. Tangay's first goal of the year. The Avs are up 1-0. Then, later in the first, Milan Hayduk puts the rebound here past Ole the goalie. It's Hayduk's third goal of the season, and the Avs have themselves a 2-0 lead. Second period, Caps come out firing. O'Donnell spins in front and beats Patrick Waugh for the goal. Patrick's not happy about it. First goal of the year for Dahlin. It's now 2-1 Avalanche. Third period now, they're tied at 2. Peter Bondra takes the puck off the faceoff and beats Waugh for the goal. Bondra, second of the game, and that'll drive Waugh to Duane Capitals. Take a 3-2 lead, but late in the third, Joe Sakic beats Ole the goalie in the power play. Sakic's first goal of the year. We're tied at 3. We go to overtime. In OT, Ray Bourque taking the shot. He's beaten Kolzig on the power play. Patrick Waugh's pump, so is his wife. Patrick Waugh with the victory, and he makes NHL history. Yeah, cut down the nets. Patrick Waugh, the winningest goalie in NHL history. How about that? 4-3 was the final. Avs over the Caps in overtime. The Avs are up to their best start in 3 years, we might add, and along with Ottawa, the only unbeaten teams in the league. As for Patrick Waugh, well, he says he had a lot of help along the way.
Being in this position today, I mean, it's fun, but it doesn't happen just by myself. I mean, I repeat myself a lot, but it deserved to be because there was great teammates, great support by my parents and my brother, sister, and my wife and my children. They've been great to me through the course of my career, and it's fun to be with them today.
So it's St. Patrick's Day in October as Patrick Waugh is now the all-time winningest goalie in NHL history. Patty says the thing he regrets most is that Terry Sawchuk isn't alive to share the moment with him, but Waugh says he's sure Sawchuk would be happy for him, just like he'll be proud of the guy that breaks his record in the future.
Now that deserves a Waugh. Cursed franchises as a whole sound a little far-fetched, but sometimes the mountain of evidence is too great to ignore. The Nets are such a franchise. The injury troubles of Jason Williams well documented. Now it's new superstar Keith Van Horn coming up lame. In Tuesday's exhibition game against Orlando, Van Horn broke his leg. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. We'll show you how it happened as they were tipping off. Grant Hill making his first start as a member of the Magic and working his teammates, getting them involved. There's the rookie Mike Miller, 3-ball that goes. We had 13 in the first half. Here's the Van Horn bad break coming down on Bo Outlaw's foot as Keith went up for the board, rolls
twisted his left ankle.
Over his left ankle. He is in serious pain. So again, the break of the fibula expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. You see the Magic go on to win the game. John Amici had 24 in that one. How much will New Jersey miss Van Horn? Well, When you compare him to the stars from the draft of 97, the answer is a lot. Only Tim Duncan has averaged more points a game since joining the NBA. Also hobbling after Tuesday's exhibition games, Karl Malone. He sprained his left knee after getting caught in a pileup in the third quarter of Utah's matchup with the Cavaliers. No immediate word on whether that injury will sideline Malone or not. But already, injuries piling up in the NBA, and we still have, Halloween is when they tip it off for real.
Yeah, the poor Nets, they just can't seem to get a break, even when the season hasn't even gotten underway yet.
And they did get 7 rebounds out of Kenyon Martin, but a lot of rebuilding going on still. All right, well, we continue here on The National. Randy and I will have more. This is what's on tap. Olympic fever still gripping the world, sort of. It's the animal world. There's one drug test I don't want to give. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and one Mike Tyson getting ready to step back into the ring to face Andrew Galata. A man he's not giving much respect to.
To me, the little boy. To me, he's very small. 6'5", 240, but to me, very, very small.
We won the game. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Right now at Car Toys for just $30 a month, get 1,000 free weekend minutes for life, plus 250 anytime minutes and free long distance from Verizon Wireless.
Car Toys. Way to go.
Hey, what's wrong?
The guys are always picking on me, and they don't think I'm very fast. But I catch everything. I even go over the middle.
Yeah, you can be a go-to guy, Mr. Reliable. Doesn't matter how many catches, touchdowns you have. All they talk about is your speed. Speed, speed, speed.
Ed, looks like you could use some McDonald's.
Catch 2 of our Cajun McChicken sandwiches for $2, 2 Big and Tasty sandwiches for $2, or 1 of each.
Feel better now, Ed?
So you're watching TV right now. Well, the folks over at WorldCom aren't. They're just a little too busy connecting you with the rest of the world. And at EchoStar, they're offering hundreds of channels of satellite TV. And at Banner Health Colorado, they're doing their part to keep you and me healthy. So where do you think they find these bright, hardworking people? 2 places. The Denver Rocky Mountain News career section, and on the web at careers.rockymountainnews.com.
We're celebrating Extra Value Days at Peerless Tire Company.
And we want you to come down and join us.
Handle the road wet or dry with a Bridgestone RE910 all-season radial, as low as $66.99. Includes a 60,000-mile warranty and free mounting.
Designed for luxury SUVs, the Bridgestone Dueler HL, as low as $94.99 with a 60,000-mile warranty and free mounting.
Come to Peerless Tire, we'll go the extra mile.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Rodriguez from your Rocky Mountain Regional Sports Report. We got a sneak preview of what's ahead tonight at 11 p.m. coming up. We are at the scene with complete coverage of Patrick Roy's shot at breaking Terry Sawchuk's record for career victories. Plus, we'll have the playing status of Broncos running back Terrell Davis. That's all ahead for you on your 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. Right now, we send it back to the National Sports Report.
This Fox Scope segment is brought to you by Acura.
All right, let's say hello to our football analyst, Bill Moss. And, Billy, we could have a new rushing record set in college football this Saturday. And the strange thing is no one seems to know much about this guy.
Isn't that amazing? Because he's a Division III guy. But, we here at Fox Sports Football Department, we're always trying to unveil new talent, Chris and Randy. They could end up on the NFL This Morning show. You never know. Just teasing, Chris. I got a chance to talk to R.J. Bowers on and off camera about just himself. And what a story this kid is. I mean, 26 years old. He goes back to college. Heck, he just needs 149 yards to move to the top of the NCAA career rushing list, but that's not all. He's already #1 on the touchdown list with 84 and has 32 straight 100-yard games. I caught up with Bowers on Football Today and asked him what he thought about breaking the rushing record.
Yeah, several times. Earlier this year, that's pretty much all I've thought about, and, now it's about to become reality.
You broke Archie Griffin's record with 32 consecutive games of 100 yards or more. You broke Travis Prentice's touchdown record. These are some pretty big names you're just pushing right out of the record book.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Prentice now, he's with Cleveland, and Archie Griffith for sure. I mean, that's somebody that, I remember I didn't watch, but I heard a lot about. And, it's awesome to be mentioned in the same sentence with those guys.
I know that you played some outfield in the Astros minor league system. What happened? Did you decide you wanted to go get an education, or you just couldn't hit the curveball? What happened with baseball?
Well, kind of a combination of both. I had a little problem with the curveball, but
so did I.
Yeah, no, but it was about time. At 23 years old, I decided, it was either now or never to come back and get my college degree. And I felt at that time I was still in good enough shape to come back and play a little bit of football. And this is where I ended up.
Do you lie about your age to them? Do they call you Pops?
No, it's funny. Early on, when I was 23, I got more of that than I do now at 26. I think I've kind of gained the respect, and they pretty much have been quiet the last 2-3 years.
RJ, obviously you're tearing things up. How about the scouts? What's your feedback? What have you been hearing?
Well, I mean, everything's been positive. We've had pretty much everybody in, with the exception of maybe 4 or 5 teams, and there's been several teams that have been back 3 and 4 times. So, everything that I've gotten back has been positive, and they can't tell me for sure, but they say there's a very good shot that I'll be in a camp next year.
Well, thanks, RJ. Hey, what a great job he did. Here's a kid. He makes a decision at 23 years of age to get out of minor league baseball. In minor league baseball, you come out of high school, you don't know what you're doing. You're in that thing. You get caught in that thing. You don't know what to do. He goes back. He gets an education. Now he could be the all-time NCAA rushing record. That's awesome.
Don't have to worry about his age. Mike Anderson has done well at that age as well. Thanks a lot, Bill. Coming up, it's your call. Will the Mets celebrate their first World Series title in 14 years, or will it be a Yankee three-peat? Log on to foxsports.com and vote.
This Fox Scope segment was brought to you by Acura. Start your day with the Regional Sports Report for news dedicated to your home teams, followed by the National Sports Report. Weekday mornings on Fox Sports Net.
Bob.
Claire.
Bob.
Claire.
Michael.
Michael. Bob? Claire?
Want your own monster truck? You can win one during Napa's Monster Truck Giveaway, or win one of over 5,000 mini monster trucks. Plus, save on hundreds of items. Enter at a participating Napa Auto Parts store today.
Top 10 teams square off on Fox Sports Net. Jonathan Beasley looks to put Kansas State back on track towards the Big 12 title against Texas Tech. Plus, Eugene will be rocking when Arizona's Desert Swarm invades Oregon to battle the high-flying Ducks. It all kicks off with the pregame show Saturday on Fox Sports Net.
Chance to save on a 2000 Chrysler Concorde or a 2000 Dodge Intrepid at Ted's in Pocatello. And with factory rebates up to $4,000, we mean save. Drive a new 2000 Chrysler Concorde and save up to $4,000. Want a Dodge Intrepid? Apply your $4,000 lease rebate and drive this 2000 midsize sedan for only $272 a month on a short 39-month lease. With more than 15 Intrepids and Concordes to choose from and the best deals of the year, now is the time to save at Ted's.
That's Paul. He's a little indisposed right now, or he'd be singing the praises of advertising on cable television himself. He'd tell you how it got his phone number out in front of the people who really need somebody like Paul the plumber.
Anybody missing a bear?
Cable advertising. It's easy, it's affordable, it works. AT&T Media Services. Get your ads worth.
It's all good.
What? Bill! Yeah! Woo!
Welcome back to the show. Got a message for Atlanta Hawks center Dikembe Mutombo. No more trips to the Congo. Mutombo is suffering from a mild case of malaria and won't be able to play for a couple of weeks. Doctors believe Mutombo contracted the disease when he was bitten by a mosquito during a trip to the Congo last month. Hawks general manager Pete Babcock says this is not a life-threatening or career-threatening situation. In fact, medication should wipe out the disease completely. Mutombo was hospitalized on Monday with a high fever, one of the symptoms of malaria. This just in, the Celtics have released Michael Jordan. All right, so it's not that Michael Jordan, but it felt good to say. Rookie Michael Jordan out of Pennsylvania has been cut by Coach Rick Pitino. This Jordan was averaging less than 3 points a game during the preseason. As for the real Michael Jordan, his two teams going at it on Tuesday night. Wizards against the Bulls, and second quarter action's Rod Strickland getting a shot blocked, but Mitch Richmond gets the ball back, and he's going to go to Juwan Howard, who throws it home, plus the foul. Howard's in pain, though, but he is okay. Third quarter now, Elton Brand barreling down the lane. He'll jam it home for 2 of his 19 points, but the Bulls get beat 104-103.
For this Friday night matchup between Andrew Golota and Mike Tyson, what would interest you more, the actual boxing competition between two pretty good fighters, or the rule violations that are sure to come from two notoriously dirty fighters? Tyson is almost 5 full inches shorter than Golota, but that's not how he sees it.
How big is he? What's his measurements?
I don't know.
6'5". To me, the little boy. To me, he's very small. 6'5", 240. But to me, he's very, very small. I'm not Muhammad Ali. I'm not capable of predicting rounds, and I'm not clairvoyant. But listen, he's over.